Comes down to this. The best short course triathletes from across the world have descended on NEOM at the northern tip of the Red Sea in Saudi Arabia for the supertri grand final. It is the culmination of 5 rounds and 2 months or so of thrilling battles from Boston to Chicago, London to Toulouse. And today we crown the champions of season 6 of the best short course series on the planet. It is set up perfectly for 2 incredible races as the contenders line up to claim the crown. The best in the world are back. Let's get it underway.
When you talk about the very best of the best, you really put Georgia Taylor Brown's name out there.
She wanted Chicago, London, and now Toulouse.
It's Taylor Spivey.
She has a lot to prove.
Been getting better and better across the course of the season.
Jean Lehair has just put the burners on.
A little gap forming between these three and the rest of the pack.
It is time to get the men's race underway. Hayden Wilde will pick up another one.
This is his domain, it really is.
Berger's popped up like he does. Now it is purely about digging in.
Could Hellwig snake this one from the big names of supertri in his debut season?
Could this be Vasco Velasquez's first ever victory in supertri?
And I have just blown a gasket on that one. That was huge. The title race is wide open. Every second counts in supertri, and that includes in the build-up, actually. We are already just moments away from the women's race, and while the individual league championship is certainly on the line, the big prize is the team's title. Every individual point goes into the team's total, and there is just 14 points right now between Crown Racing and Podium Racing, while Brownlee Racing will be trying, well, to drag themselves off the bottom of the ladder. So let's allow the team managers right now to take us through this brand new course and find out where they think they can win it.
It's definitely a swim of 2 halves here in NEOM. To the first buoy, you have such a chop coming from the right-hand side, and as you go round the pontoon, you can see it flattening out. It'll be really about arm turnover and swimming fast. Up here and turning hard right with a 60-metre run to transition. That's crucial as well.
All right, you can see behind me now the riders are coming past. This is a real testy part of the course. Your left-right chicane, very critical to take this at the right speed. Don't overspeed it, but by the same token, don't be too slow, because you're going to get a gap, and then you've got to break that gap back down.
You don't win a triathlon on the swim and the bike, you have to win it on the run. And as you can see, we're here on blacktop and we're in the middle of the desert, so heat is going to play a major factor into this week's race. Short shoot will also be a big part of who wins it at the end of the day, just like we've seen in previous races this year.
We all know that transition is the 4th discipline of triathlon, but at supertri it's crucial. This season we've seen short shoots and races lost, nearly lost, won and nearly won by what happens in transition. It's crucial that the athletes stay calm under pressure and deliver a clean and fast and smooth transition.
To inspire the competitor.
Crucial is the word of the day, and the individual points race, well, that's also crucial, and it is simple as well. There are 3 women in with a realistic chance at the title, and the ball firmly in Georgia Taylor Brown's court after 3 wins in a row. The Brit needs just a podium finish to take an unprecedented 3rd supertri league crown, while both Jean Lehair and Taylor Spivey, you can see there, are 6 points back and need a win. And for Taylor Brown to finish 4th or lower, which at the end of the long season, well, it's certainly possible for that to happen, especially in these conditions, on a new course and with a format that really demands so much.
The progress bar at the bottom of the screen will help you navigate the racing. The supertri format is 3 triathlons back-to-back, starting with a 300-metre swim, followed by 4 1-kilometre bike laps and a 2-lap run. The first athlete to complete the first swim, bike or run will earn a short shoot for their team. The short shoot is a shortcut that can be taken in the 3rd run. As the racing unfolds during the 2nd triathlon, the managers who've won a short shoot will decide which of their athletes deserves an advantage in the final run. They'll reveal their decision in the 3rd swim. You'll see the short shoot logo appear next to their nominated athlete's name when they're on their bikes for the last time. If they're lucky enough to have a short shoot here in NEOM, they can take it on the 1st lap of the final run. It might just win them the race.
The dulcet tones of Annie Emerson there, who will welcome into commentary in just a second, but we are looking right now at the Olympic champion, Cassandra Beaugrand, who, when she looks that calm, is always a huge threat. Her last win in supertri, well, that was 1 year ago right here in NEOM. there is the reigning champion as well, Kate Woff. But right now, let's have a look at Brownlee Racing. And they are needing some big results. Jess Fulliger and Olivia Matthias, they're both athletes that have really come on in 2024, and they'll need big results. Beth Potter is obviously the 2023 world champion. Sandra Beaugrand took that title from her a couple of weeks ago. And Elite J. Beto rounds it out. In crown racing, well, they have some high-quality athletes. Kate Woff, as I said, reigning champion of Supertri. Cassandra Beaugrand, world champion and Olympic champion. And Georgia Taylor-Brown going for a third title in a row and a fourth win in a row. The question is, how is she feeling ahead of this one?
I am very excited. I'm nervous, but I'm ready for this final race. Yeah, I think you can definitely feel that we'll be 5 races in now. Everybody's definitely excited to get this last one done and racing in the beautiful desert of NEOM. So no, I'm excited, but obviously comes with that pressure of being excited is the nerves as well. So there's a bit of nerves there, but I think once I get going, yeah, I'll be really excited.
Well, you're not just leading the individual series, you're also leading the team overall series. So what is the mood within the camp at the moment?
Again, we're very excited, but also nervous. I think we do feel the pressure again, because I think all the other team, like everyone in the team is expecting a lot from each other, and we just need to do all those little things right that we seem to keep getting wrong. So as long as we do all the small things right, I think it will be fine. But no, we definitely want to take that title back that we got in 2022, because it's ours for the taking now.
She has been there and done it, Georgia Taylor-Brown, but can she do it facing a bevy of stars, including Taylor Spivey, misconsistent across the course of the season with thirds and fourths. She'll need a win, and to hope Taylor-Brown drops down. Nina Eim comes in on debut, the Rome World Cup winner, 26 years of age from Germany. She finished 12th in Paris, definitely deserves to be here. Jean Lahair, she's had some bad luck in Toulouse at home again. She had a win, though, in Boston. She'll be hoping to do the same here, and she'll need to if she is going to contend for the title. Victoria Lopez is the big swimmer, Leonie Perriot the big runner, and Fanny Zelai, 16 years of age. We'll head down now to Adam Leach, who's got Tim Don.
Tim, it all comes down to this 14-point gap you need to make up to crown racing today. What have you been working on? Can you do it?
Yeah, we've been working on consistency, really onto the bike and try and control it. It's very windy here and the swim's rough. We've got some great swimmers, so we're looking to execute a really good swim and bike.
And it's not just the team's title. The hair in with a chance. Georgia Taylor-Brown leading the series and out the front, but is there a chance for her, do you think, today?
Absolutely, but again, we're torn because Jean wants to go for the run points for the team, but she wants to go for the individual. So she's going to make a call on the second race. But Jean's a firecracker. If anyone can overcome this, she's such a gutsy racer that she's really, really got a great opportunity here.
Great input there from Tim Don, and he's, speaking of being there and done it, he's one of the most experienced men in triathlon. Crown Racing, you can see there in the red closest to us, they have the inside line to the first buoy, which is a left-hand turn, about 150 out. Brownlee Racing next to them, then Podium Racing on the outside, Stars and Stripes. So let's watch for Cassandra Beaugrand and also Victoria Lopez, who have shared the leads out of the water and the swim points as well. And as we welcome into commentary right now, Annie Emerson, it is set up, and it is windy out there, Annie.
It's very, very windy indeed, and the athletes are just about to start, so they've got a lot to deal with up until this first buoy.
Let's get it underway. All right, little stutter step there from some. You can see how choppy it is in the water and the importance to get out on a nice clean start, and having that nice line there, Crown Racing, and immediately Cassandra Beaugrand goes to the front of what will be an arrowhead led by the French woman, who is fresh off an incredible, well, not that fresh anymore, but fresh off an incredible win in Paris, and then also more recently in Torremolinos winning the World Championship title. So difficult conditions. The wind, it says 20 kilometres an hour. There are gusts stronger than that. It is hot in the air. It is hot in the water. There is no escape here in the desert in terms of overheating, and being able to manage that, I suppose, is one of the many challenges facing these athletes as they take on this incredible 9-leg triathlon.
Yeah, the heat is intense here. It just never stops pounding down from the sky and from the pavement as well. So we've been out there. We know what it's like, but we don't have to do this kind of racing. 3 back-to-back triathlons, as you said, and it's tough to this first buoy. Once they head a left around the buoy and then back towards land, it gets a little bit easier, but it's incredibly incredibly windy here, a lot windier than the last couple of days when they've been getting used to this course and having a chance to train in it. The bike course is going to be very interesting with a big crosswind. Having a look now at this buoy, that's Olivia Matthias from Brownlee Racing there in the blue, just struggling around that first buoy, Will.
Yeah, and in the red as well, Cassandra Beaugrand really got pushed under the buoy there and had to stop and do a bit of breaststroke. So for the amateur racers out there who've had to breaststroke around the buoy from time to time, it's good to see the Olympic champion and probably the best swimmer in the sport having to do that as well. A lot of traffic. Lopez and Beaugrand, obviously the best out there, but Kirsten Casper, who's back again, Olivia Matthias, Jean Lahair, all great swimmers, and they'll need to be, especially those you can see in the silver and the red. They are trying to pick up those points for Crown and Podium racing with big prizes on the line for the Teams League. Tim said it before, Annie, it is kind of a swim of two halves. It's very choppy out of the way to the first buoy, and then you've got that tight turn, and then as soon as you come in kind of the leeward side of that very long pontoon, it flattens out considerably.
Yeah, it does a little bit. We'll just notice that now. It's that pontoon that breaks the chop, I think. It's a brilliant swim exit. I think it's one of the best that I've ever seen, the smoothest that I've seen. But they do have a little ramp, slippery ramp to navigate before they head to transition. And it's a reasonable run into transition as well. This, of course, the first of the swims, 300 metres. They're getting a little bit separated here as well. We can see some of the back markers now, a good sort of 10, 15 metres down from our leader. And I think that's Olivia Matthias from Brownlee Racing, but the sun causing us a few visual obstructions at the moment.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. So obviously there's points on the line for the team's total when it comes to the top three swimmers out of the water. There's a bit of a run too, as you said, probably 60 metres up to the point where the swim points are decided, so it's kind of almost a bit of a swim run. But I think it is Matthias, I think you're right. And in there is Lopez as well, Beaugrand closest to camera in the red. I think Spivey's just on her inside hip as well, so all the usual contenders there. And we can probably expect to see this swim on the second swim and then the third swim really break up the competition. So being at the front and having the opportunity to control your efforts is really important in these kind of conditions.
Yeah, the conditions are so hard. And we were talking earlier, Will, weren't we, that last year I think it was 8 women were eliminated, and that is just due to the sheer heat, the wind. It's flat, so you'd think it might make it easier, but with the wind and the heat it makes it very difficult. As we can see now, it's Olivia Matthias from Brownlee Racing heading towards that lovely swim exit.
Yeah, it is a nice swim exit. Even I can get up that one. I tried that one. Lopez second out of the water, Beaugrand third. So they're going to need to run up and cross the line already. She looks behind. Matthias has gotten rid of the cap and the goggles. Casper there as well, overtakes Beaugrand, and Casper wants those 2 extra points for Stars and Stripes and gets it. Lopez gets 1, and Beaugrand nothing. And now the short shoot is all to play for. The short shoot obviously comes for those coming out of transition and across the mount line. The transition being a key part of Super League Triathlon. Spivey crosses, Potter there coming around, Lahair, Waff, Fulliger as well, and the first of the short shoots is going to go to Brownlee Racing. You can see Michael Thompson there put it in the air for Brownlee, so they'll get a short shoot for later on, and they head out onto the first of 4 laps of this 1 kilometre bike loop. It is Olivia Matthias from Kirsten Casper, who had a great swim and then a great run up to transition. Beaugrand, Spivey, Lahair, Lopez. Georgia Taylor-Brown not so much. She's down in 12th position, 14 seconds across the field.
Yeah, that's unusual for Georgia Taylor-Brown. 11 seconds down with Olivia Matthias on the front. We saw, those that remember London, what she did there, where she rode off the front. Technically, she's such a skilled cyclist and so strong as well. So Georgia Taylor-Brown needs to work really hard to pull back those 11 seconds. We saw her recently in the World Championship final, Will, in Torremolinos, really struggling overall. She said she did a big block of training and she hadn't quite recovered. Let's hope the British athlete has recovered, because she is going for a historic 3rd victory overall. She won back in 2021 and 2022. There are points on the screen, 14 points separating Podium from Crown, but we do remember, thinking back to 2022, when Crown came back from a 24-point deficit. So anything's possible here in NEOM.
Back when they were named the Bahrain Victoria Scorpions. There's more points on the line for the individual, and a little moment there from Fulliger, who has managed to push herself up into second. So a Brownlee 1-2 at the moment, and manager Non-Stanford will be very happy. But speaking of Taylor Brown, obviously we get to this point in the season, and it's about who's got gas left in the tank and the will to win, especially coming off the back of an Olympic Games where there's so much build-up. And I think Georgia Taylor Brown was the one that renamed Tora Molinos as Tora my legs off, because she had put so much into it and still finished outside the top 5. So whether she's got it in her to pick up a third Super Tri title today, that is the question. But right now, John Lahare and Taylor Spivey will be very happy with where their championship rival Taylor Brown is, although she has tacked on to the back there. You see it in the red there. She's got a little gap back. Lopez behind her. And then Alice Beto, Leonie Perriot, who's one of the great runners in our sport. And last of all is Fanny Zalai, the 16-year-old, who actually finished 7th in NEOM last year, her best result across the season, and hoping for more from the youngest ever to do it. But at the moment, Liv Mathias is looking around going, who's going to give me a hand? And this part of the course is kind of into a 45-degree wind. That's the toughest part, I think, on the bike. And then they come into the shelter of the, I guess, the NEOM Beach Games precinct after that. Fulliger, though, bridging up to Mathias, making it a Brownlee 1-2, and a good time now for Adam Leach to chat to probably a very happy manager, Non-Stanford.
No, this is incredible for Brownlee Racing. 2 ladies off the front here on the bike. Can they just work together and get away here?
Absolute dream start for us, and Olivia and Jess are probably the best cyclists in the pack. They've shown that every week. They're technically the best, they're very strong. So fingers crossed, yeah, they can work together here and really get an advantage going out onto that run, and yeah, see how the rest of the race plans out. But they're in the perfect position so far.
Certainly are in the perfect position, and Stanford will be happy. The 2013 world champion, who's been someone that these athletes only have looked up to in the early parts of their careers, and now get to work under her. And as a manager, obviously she's got athletes like Alex Yee and Johnny Brownlee, and who probably don't really need too much of a pep talk from their manager, but someone, I think, is that Casper, who's trying to bridge up to this group of 3 and trying to drag the others up with her as well?
It does look like it. It is. No, it's Nina Eim, who's making her debut here in Super Tri, the young German athlete who recently won a World Cup race in Rome. Good to see her having a great first outing here. Is that Fanny Salai now really struggling? Barbara de Koning as well. She hasn't yet managed to finish a Super Tri race, having been eliminated in every one, but she does have 3 team members from Crown Racing who are in the top 5.
So it's a breakaway group of 6 at the moment, mini breakaway, and Taylor Brown has gone from 11 seconds to 5. Taylor Brown, as we said, she's cut that gap in 2 laps on the bike from 11 seconds, and she's halved it, or more than halved it, down to 5, and she leads a group including the reigning world champion and last year's world champion in Potter and Beau Grant, along with Casper, Lopez, Perriot, Alice Beto and Kathia Shah from Stars and Stripes Racing. And then we've got a couple of athletes off the back, but this time it's Fulliger who's looking around and hoping someone can give her a hand off the front, because there's so much firepower, especially run firepower, in the chasing pack.
Yeah, Fulliger's had a great season. She really has. She's gone from a 6th place overall, 8th in Chicago, didn't race in London, and got 4th in Toulouse. She's an athlete really to look out for. Great swimmer, great biker, but still got quite a bit of work to do on her run. Sitting on her wheel is her teammate Olivia Mathias. Great to see Brownlee Racing out in front of this race, because they've struggled a little bit this season. It hasn't been the easiest, with Alex Yee out in Toulouse, and then of course Johnny Brownlee, that crash prior to Toulouse race.
It's all come back together now, and the group constantly changing, and Taylor Brown has joined it. So Taylor Brown's bridged across. Potter and Beau Grant haven't yet, and there's a little bit of looking around as the group grows to 7 strong. And if you're just joining us, or you're unaware of the current state of the championship here at the grand final, as Woff and Taylor Brown take on a drink. Second time I've seen Kate Woff do that, so she's making sure she stays hydrated. The current state of play is, if Georgia Taylor Brown can finish on the podium, she will win a 3rd Super Tri title. There she is at the back of that pack. And the two that have a realistic chance of taking it from her, John Lahair and Taylor Spivey, they both need to win and hope that Taylor Brown does not finish on the podium. So take care of your own race. Hope it falls in your favour.
But this bike course is twitchy, isn't it? I'm moving around in my seat. We saw some of the athletes yesterday in their familiarisation coming off on a couple of the corners. But the great thing is the athletes get a chance to ride on this bike course. So they learn where they need to be on the bends. And hopefully today we won't see too many crashes. And when you've got the likes of Olivia Mathias and Jess Fulliger leading the way, you know you're on a good wheel.
Yeah, we had a few crashes yesterday in the bike familiarisations from the men. Max Stapley, Chase McQueen, Connor Bentley, they all found the brand new tarmac here and that was all in the same corner actually, which we're coming up to in just a second. But the women, as they tend to be, were a little smarter.
A little bit smarter.
Yes, a little bit smarter. Yep. We made some alterations to the course. It's just here this turn that they're about to turn, the right-hand turn right there. Can be a little bit sandy, and we've seen some athletes fall foul of that as we head to the end of the bike. Now, the second short shoot is available for this one after transition once they cross the mount line onto the run. Brownlee Racing's already picked up one, as you can see from the bottom of your screen, and the bike short shoot would go to Brownlee again if Matthias has a easy time in the shoes, and she does, and it looks like Brownlee will get it, which means they don't take a second one, but they get to deny another team from having it.
Georgia Taylor-Brown there, taking a long time in transition. She doesn't want to lose that amount of time on the likes of Cassandra Beaugrand, the Olympic champion, who's yet to win a race on the Supertri Series 2024. She did, her last victory was in NEOM here last year, but the Olympic and world champion yet to win a Supertri race in the 2024 series. Yoni Perriot, she's going to be interesting to watch as well. Such a great runner, and this to me looks like a course I think that's going to, or rather athletes are going to stay together on this course quite a bit. The breaks are going to come in the next swim, and as we can see now, the Olympic champion just stamping authority on this race, striding ahead now. Nina Ryan from Germany making her debut, sitting in second, and Jan Lahair working hard in third. Just looking out for Georgia Taylor-Brown, she's tucked in behind Jess Fulliger from Brownlee Racing, and Spivey as well, sitting in second in the overall championship, just alongside Georgia Taylor-Brown.
All right, there is the dead turn. You can see the short shoot there, which will be able to be taken on the final run on the first lap, but Beaugrand has really put it down on this run. You just know if she is there or thereabouts coming to the end of the bike, that she is going to find her way to the front very quickly on the run, and then we know how good her swim is as well, and it's about making sure you can swim up to or be in a position to close that gap and get on those feet, otherwise she can run away with things, and we've seen that before as she makes the turn and she doesn't know where she's meant to be going.
Oh dear.
That's a rookie error. It's very obvious where to go, and she's taken a moment to think, do I turn left there?
And look
I
at
guess she has a moment though, doesn't she?
She certainly did, but I thought she'd come to a complete full stop. I thought there was an injury problem, but it wasn't that. It was the fact that she actually hadn't worked out where the course went. And the athletes get a lot of time to train on this course beforehand, so she should know where she's going.
I think they've done a lot more bike laps than they have done run laps though, and that's where you turn left on the bike. So a moment of confusion, but the two French women, and Perriot, I think she wants that fastest run lap. She wants to take that one, so Tim Don probably would have said to her, I want you to go out there and get that fastest run, pick up those team points. And she has come up to the back of Beaugrand, and she wants to put down the quickest lap and pick up those points, and Lahair might do something similar and get the second point. So Tim Don always plays it smart, and he needs every point for that one. But the two French women at the front, but three women from Crown Racing all there with Taylor-Brown pushing up onto that group. So we'll head down now to Adam, who has Crown assistant manager Michael Gilliam.
Michael, a really interesting race unfolding here, and a couple of difficult moments for your athletes. Cassandra there almost had to slow up. She almost took the wrong turn, and Georgia, a very tardy transition for her.
I wanted to put the brakes on in the run, but I didn't expect her to step off to the side. So, yeah, a little bit of a problem. We'll get back there, don't worry. It's 3 races in 1. Let's see what happens by the third one.
Yeah, he's been around enough races, Michael, to know that there's plenty to play out between now and then, and you can make up, if you're as good as Taylor-Brown or Beaugrand, you can have a little moment, like a poor transition or a moment of hesitation, and still make it back up, but it can't be a big one.
Well, the athletes really strung out, actually. I said I thought the breaks would come in the next swim, but it is hot and windy out here. Alicia Beto, who's gone so well and so consistently over the series, is right back now. And Cassandra Beaugrand, thankfully for the other athletes, has decided just to put the brakes on a little bit because she went out super fast out of transition after the bike.
Good run, though, from Perriot. Good run from Lahair. Great from the debutant Ime. I noticed Casper's gone way back, and Zalaya's moved up from second last into about fourth or fifth last position, so she's working into it. There is Spivey as well, sitting in behind Ime, and she's just the kind of athlete which is just ever consistent, just sits there in the back, does her job, and burns her matches, I suppose, when she needs to. A little bit like, reminds me of a Rachel Clammer used to be early on in the years of Supertri. Always there or thereabouts and always threatening. Waff then, and Matthias and Taylor Brown, and Beth Potter, famed for her run, cannot make that gap back up, and she really hasn't had the run legs that we expect from her in this series.
Yeah, the Olympic bronze medalist, second overall in the World Championship World Triathlon Series in Torremolinos a couple of weeks ago. She's just not finding her legs in Supertri this year. She's only had one podium, surprisingly, and that was in NEOM last year. Look at this sprint here. Cassandra Beaugrand is going for it.
They want the run short shoot, and it is going to be, because it's on the dismount line. Crown Racing who gets it, so the battle between Podium and Crown, it continues.
It's great to see the athletes battling it out for these vital points and short shoots. It's all coming down to the wire here in NEOM. Let's see if Georgia Taylor-Brown can have a quicker transition. She does. She leaves her shoes and follows out in 8th place, but it's Jean Lahair from Podium who's leading the way into the swim at the moment. Taylor Spivey there decided to go right, with Nina Ime sitting in 4th just behind her.
Diving into the water for the second swim, and this is where the race is really made or broken, and it can really string out. So 29 seconds across the top 12 coming in, and then a big gap back to Zalai and Casper. Let's see how the top 12 are positioned and how much time in between once we get to the other end of this 300-metre swim, because a fatigue swim is a skill that is very specific to Supertri, and it can be very difficult on those athletes that aren't renowned for their swimming. Beaugrand, Lahair, Perriot, etc. are very, very strong in the water, and Beaugrand is just sitting there on the feet of Spivey, which is not a bad place to be. Spivey growing up in Redondo Beach, California, as a surf lifesaver, and very used to choppy water and conditions such as this. And the water as well, and is so salty. It's really something else to have to contend with, because it can really dehydrate you, get in your nose and mouth, and it can be quite difficult to cope with, at least for me. At least it was for me.
Well, I haven't been in yet, but I've heard, you told me as well. I mean, for the weaker athletes, the salty water is great because it gives you a little bit more buoyancy. So that's going to help the likes of Leonie Perriot out. I'd love to see her do something here. Like, over the years, she's been such an entertaining athlete, but she does struggle in the swim. Georgia Taylor-Brown just looking out for her as well. And Cassandra Beaugrand going 3rd around that buoy. But it's Taylor Spivey from Stars and Stripes who's really, really pushing the pace out in front. And Jon Lahair is still there, having a great race. I think she's going to be one to look out for overall in this race. Also fighting for overall spot in the Championship Series, currently sitting in 3rd at the moment.
Taylor here, in with a chance for the title today. She's got Nina Ime, a new recruit for your team. Is Nina going to work for her here?
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why we put Nina on the team, but she's obviously a phenomenal athlete, and she's out there competing with the best just like we knew she would. So really happy with how both Taylor and Nina are racing, and then Cathio looks a whole lot better today as well.
It's true. He's pretty unflappable, Parker Spencer. He's always pretty steady with his comments, and having that steady hand at the helm has certainly helped Stars and Stripes to improve round on round as they continue their podium project up to LA 2028. Now we really get into the meat of the racing and see who has the legs at this end of the season. So Victoria Lopez was 54 seconds back into the water in last of all, but she is, well, undoubtedly, this season at least, the best swimmer out there, so hopefully she can make some time up, and we can wait a little longer into this race before we start seeing athletes get eliminated. But conditions such as they are, we will be seeing that red flag from Michael Thompson at some point. Spivey continuing out the front. Lahair there as well, and Beaugrand. Then I think it's Matthias that has swum up.
It's Cassandra Beaugrand is playing it really smart. She really is, because she could push out in front if she wanted to, but I think she's choosing to get a little bit of a draft, although she's not getting much of one at the moment because she's just going out to the left there. But she doesn't really want to push this pace too early in this race, because the run, that third run, is going to be tough. That's where we're going to see the winners are made. I don't think we're going to get any major breaks now in this race. Georgia Taylor-Brown, she's the one I'm slightly worried about.
Spivey a time out of the water. Yeah, Taylor-Brown, you're right. She's in the back of shot there.
No,
Taylor's
Spivey. Yeah, it's Spivey that's out front. And then it's Jon Lahair coming out in second. Cassandra Beaugrand in third. Olivia Matthias is in fourth. And it's Kate Woff, who hasn't won a race this season, the 2023 Super Tri Series winner. She'd love a win here in NEOM.
Well, if it finishes in this order, which it won't, but if we're about to finish the race right now, Jon Lahair would be stealing the title from under Georgia Taylor-Brown's nose, the same way Georgia Taylor-Brown did to Jess Learmont a couple of seasons ago in the last race, the way the points panned out. But that is in the past, and this is all ahead of us with 16 seconds across the top 9 as Nina Im comes across in 9th position, just behind Taylor-Brown, who had a better transition onto the bike there. There's Perio. Potter's trying to stay on there, and Im is sucking in the big ones, trying to get on too, and she does the flying mount. Down, it's time to get underway with the second bike. So it really gets honest now, doesn't it, Annie? We've done the sprints for the short shoots. That's all been decided. The managers will hand them out, at least non-Stanford, and Michael Gillian will in a little, a couple of disciplines from now, but now it's just good, honest racing, and this is where things can really split up and change after the excitement of the opening swim, bike and run.
Oh, they can. I'm loving this racing. It's sort of changing with every pedal stroke. It really is. There's a little bit of a breakaway happening here, though, and it's Cassandra Beaugrand and Spivey and Jon Lahair. Now, Jon Lahair and Spivey, we've been talking about, they're the biggest threat for the overall title for Georgia Taylor-Brown, who comes into this with 3 back-to-back victories, but I sense she's just a little bit off today, because we'd normally expect to see her by this stage in the front just bossing a little bit.
Swimming well, is she? She's not having swims that we've seen before.
And this is a big break. Well, this is a decent sized break, and you've got Spivey. Spivey occasionally goes slightly unnoticed because she doesn't win so many races, but she is always up there. 4th in Boston, 3rd in Chicago, 4th in London, 2nd in Toulouse. She was 2nd overall in the series in 2022. She's really one to watch out for here today. She would love a victory and the overall title. She puts so much into it, rides really well. Technically, she's excellent as well.
Yeah, this really, really interesting part of this race, because Spivey's down. She's hit the deck in the exact spot that the others hit it in Famille, and now Lahair takes a lead in the race. She's back up, though, and that has huge ramifications for the championship race. Suddenly, it's the Luxembourg athlete and the French woman, Lahair and Beaugrand, all by themselves at the front. We'll see if Spivey is back up when she comes through time, and she is, but she's lost lots of time, and that's a heartbreaker for the American.
Oh, that is hugely disappointing. It really is. And just as we were singing her praises, she comes down. It is a difficult spot on the course. It really is. That will have thrown Cassandra Beaugrand and Jon Lahair, though. Might give that group behind a little bit of an opportunity to pull something back, but they're still going to have to work hard. Let's have a look at Spivey. I think she's in the background there, Will. Looks like she's back up on her bike.
Well, that has huge ramifications for the championship title, the team's title as well, and Parker Spencer, no doubt, will be disappointed with that. Let's head down to hear from him now.
Oh, Parker, what a moment, what a moment. Taylor Spivey, that is utterly heartbreaking.
Yeah, that was rough, but I think she can still bring it back. If anybody can, it's Taylor. So we saw Tim Hellwig do it earlier this year. I think Taylor can bring it right back in, but she's going to need a big run and a big swim after this.
Yeah, it's all about how she can respond, Taylor Spivey. If she can get back up to that chasing group, and then that group can swallow this group, we could see her back in contention again, but it wasn't a It was a pretty decent crash. She's 20 seconds in arrears now, I'm being told. So that's not bad, considering that was a pretty hard hit on the tarmac. And now 2 is a lot more difficult to stay away than 3, especially with someone of Spivey's talent on the bike. Would have been very helpful for these 2.
And it will make these 2 just a little bit twitchy. They're suddenly aware that there are some sketchy parts on this course. It's normal. We're in the desert. There's going to be sand. There's wind. They're just going to have to take it a little bit more cautiously. These 2 athletes, both really strong, not particularly renowned for cycling skills. So let's see what that group can do behind. Spivey, as long as she hasn't hurt herself on the bike, well, she will have hurt herself. She's come down on the tarmac. But as long as she hasn't hurt herself a lot, she hasn't broken anything, the bike's not broken, she can get back into this race for sure.
Yeah, it was 8 seconds, now it's 10, so those 2 putting 2 seconds in, and Tim Don will be happy. His athlete leads, let's find out.
Tim, a moment of real drama there with Taylor coming down, but what a chance for your athlete, Jean Lahaye now.
Absolutely, I saw on the first run, Jean backed off. She knows not to redline it, push her heart rate up. Taylor can bike back into the game. That corner's treacherous. That's where the 3 men crashed on the course recce. Jean and Cassandra are working together. That's the way forward.
Yeah, and working together, they've put a couple of extra seconds into the chasing pack, but you can see Spivey there's all by herself and has lost, well, she hasn't made up any time to that chase pack just yet, and if she does make that time back, she'll likely have to do a lot of the work on her own, which could really hurt her at the back end of this race. A minute covering the top 13, but no eliminations just yet, and these 2 get a look right there at what the gap is, and they'll be happy with that. Taylor Brown on the front of the chase pack, Liv Matthias as well. That's some big names in it.
Wow, well, it's all happening here at NEOM, isn't it? I've got my heart in my mouth, I really have. I hate to see the athletes come down, but Spivey is back on her bike that has 10 seconds to pull back on that main group. These are our 2 leaders. Cassandra Beaugrand cautiously around that bend. It certainly is that spot. And I think these 2 will be a little bit shocked to find themselves so far ahead and on their own at the moment. Let's see what the time gap is. They've got 1 more lap to go before they head out onto the run.
All right, it was 10 seconds at last count on the second last lap. This is the last lap of the second bike, and we'll see whether the chase pack is working together to break this down. It doesn't look like it's going to be at least 10. There it is, another 2 seconds. 2 seconds on lap 3, 2 seconds for lap 4, and let's see where Spivey is. She was 21 seconds in arrears, now 22, but she's got Jess Fulliger to help her, and Fulliger, as we said, really strong biker, so that will help her on the last lap, which might help her have a better swim. And the third swim is where it's really run and won. Interesting to see what Michael Gilliam does as well for the short shoot. You've got Beaugrand, who's in the front. He's going to need to make his decision very, very soon. And he's got Taylor Brown. So does he help Taylor Brown to the overall title, or does he help Beaugrand to the race win? That's the question.
I would not want to be Michael Gilliam to have to make that decision. It's a tough one. I mean, Beaugrand is so strong on the run, and I think even with the short shoot, she could probably...
We've seen Lahaye kick away from Beaugrand before.
We have indeed, but in that final sprint there, when she went for the short shoot, Beaugrand certainly had the better of her in the final sprint there. I think she's got to give it to Georgia Taylor Brown, but that's my opinion.
Well, Taylor Brown you can make 1 or guarantee 1 extra placing up, or not guarantee it, but at least go some way to doing that by giving to Beaugrand. But there's so many people in that chasing pack that Taylor Brown can ensure that she gets away from a little bit with that short shoot. Maybe that's the way to go. As we get off the bike the second time, which means we're down for another 2-lap run before we head into the final. Swim, bike and run. Dismount line coming up. Both athletes off just before the line. Lahaye cutting it a little closer than Beaugrand, and these 2 can really run. So we'll see if they feed off each other. Chasing pack arriving in the back of your shot. Taylor Brown amongst the front runners there. Nina I'm in there, Liv Matthias in there, who was a factor in the early part of this race.
No, Jan Lahaye's dropped her bike. She's run out of transition with her helmet.
She needs to carry that helmet now for the entire way around.
But
what happened there?
Her bike is also down. That's a penalty. Oh, surely not. Not after the disaster of Toulouse. The puncture, that was in 2022. The puncture for Jon Leher in Toulouse just a few weeks ago. Oh, it all happens here, doesn't it?
Wow.
I think when you're absolutely in the red, flat out, that's when the mistakes come. Spivey 19 seconds down now. Taylor Brown is 17 seconds down, tucked in that group. I'm 13 seconds down. Potter running herself back into this race now. But it's the Olympic champion and the world champion that really is dominating this race at the moment, with Jon Leher strangely running with her crash helmet.
We're going to get confirmation on what this means very, very soon from race control. But those two at the moment remain at the front. Then you've got Woff and I'm leading a group there with Matthias and Potter and Perriot as well. And then Spivey. And I've got confirmation right now that there will be no penalty for Jon Leher as long as she continues to carry her helmet for the whole run. So you never know what's going to happen in supertri. We've had guys diving into the water with their shoes on. We've had Johnny Brownlee nearly dived into the river in Toulouse last year with his helmet on. And now we've got Jon Leher running with a helmet. There's always something.
There's always something in supertri. She's going to have a little bit of a problem trying to put her swim cap on, isn't she, with her helmet in her hand? Because normally we see the athletes running along, putting their swimming caps on as they approach the second transition. She's going to find it tough with her helmet in her hand.
Well, things didn't have it on my bingo card this weekend, this one, but that's okay. And you're right, how's she going to put on the helmet? She's going to have to put it on afterwards. But at the moment, Beaugrand carries on and Leher tries to stay with her head in the game.
Oh, wow. It's a first. It's a first for me,
yep.
Will. A helmet, running with a helmet.
She looks like she's stolen a bike helmet. She's trying to escape the scene of the crime. Anyway, Leher, she's like, what do I do now? Can I put it in the box? And they're like, no, you got to keep going.
That's your punishment.
No, you can put it in the box. Hang on, where's she going? She's got to put it in the box. Okay, well, she didn't drop the helmet, so she put it in the box, which means I think that she's okay. Obviously, she's been told that that is all right. Okay. Someone furiously writing in the rule book about what to do when you carried your helmet halfway around the run.
Well, it's Leonie Perriot that's pulling that chase group along. 11 seconds down. I think they've pulled back a second or two. If they can stay together like this, there is a chance that they can pull back a little bit of time in the water. A big group together will work well. But Cassandra Beaugrand, and we're just hearing as well, no penalty for Leher. So she's done the right thing. She carried the helmet for the first lap of the run, dropped it in the box, managed to sprint back onto the heels of Cassandra Beaugrand. But Leonie Perriot working really hard to try and pull back some time. She's pulling along with her Taylor Brown, who's going for a historic third title here, but not.
There's a lot of, you know what, there's a lot of talent in between her and the front of this race. You know, Perriot, we've seen her win, you know, that Yokohama win, which had an incredible run. She's running away from that pack right now. Kate Woff, Beth Potter, both incredible athletes. Nina I'm coming in and having an amazing debut, and there's Taylor Brown sitting behind them. But it's the third swim, which really could be a difficult one. So as you say, confirmation, we'll put that helmet issue to bed. We continue. Spivey got up to within 19 seconds. She's now dropped back to 22 seconds, and she is by herself. 10 seconds behind Liv Matthias, 10 seconds ahead of Jess Fulliger, and she's going to find the going very, very tough in that swim with no one to work with. And you don't want to say she's out of this title race, but very close. It comes down to Leher and Perriot, and I think we're going to see an elimination, or if not see it, there it is. Victoria Lopez, who's been such a good addition to Podium racing in terms of the swim points especially that she's picked up. She's the first to be eliminated, and Perriot's really run away from that chase pack.
Okay, so look what's happening here. So Perriot is running away, but what will happen, it will give something for that chase group to sort of focus on in the swim, to pull something back. And I'm not saying that Cassandra Beaugrand is not capable of swimming away with this, because she certainly is. She's in the absolute form of her life, the Olympic champion, but she's going to have some very hungry athletes trying to chase her down at the moment when they leap into the swim. They've got one more. Oh no, they're finishing this lap now, and they're heading towards the final swim, bike and run in this women's final race here in NEOM.
I should point out, and it's such an interesting permutation that we didn't mention it, but Cassandra Beaugrand can still win the overall title. And to do that, she needs to take the win, and she needs Georgia Taylor-Brown to finish 7th or below, and she also needs Lahair and Spivey to finish 3rd or below. Now, Spivey looks good, okay. Lahair at the moment looks like she could finish 3rd or above, or set 1 or 2. But if that doesn't happen, and Taylor-Brown finishes below 7th, she's currently in 5th, Cassandra Beaugrand can still win, but it's a bit goodwill hunting maths up on the board to try and make that happen. Spivey a further 3 seconds in arrears now, and she's going to head into the water nearly 30 seconds back. Potter goes in, and a couple of the Crown athletes, but in terms of the overall as well, the team's race, which is worth a lot of money and is very important, worth more money and more kudos, I guess, than the individual. It's all about the positioning of those athletes in red. That's Crown, you can see on the left of your screen, and the athletes in the silver, Lahair and Perriot, who are the athletes from Podium racing, with all of the points that they score individually, whether it be for fastest swim, bike or run, or in the overall, going into that team's pot, which is crucial when it comes down to that 14-point gap, because there are more points for the individual placings on the line here in NEOM as Beaugrand leads Lahair out for the final swim.
Yeah, Jon Lahair has put herself in a nice position there on the feet of Cassandra Beaugrand.
Casper, De Koning and Zalai all looking at potentially being eliminated out of the water as Beaugrand pushes on. And we'll look back right now at the crash that changed the complexion of this race. And coming into that notorious corner off the blue, and Taylor Spivey just a little bit too hot, and that changed it, and there was Lahair who came straight past her. And this is the incident for Jon Lahair. Went to rack her bike, coming off the second bike, and down goes the bike, and then she has the helmet in her hand, puts that on. Oh, it's around her neck still, so it was stuck around her neck or stuck at the top of her tri-suit, the helmet. No time to fix that, had to run off.
I think it had got caught on her goggles by the looks of things.
All right. So, that's what happened, and when things happen so quickly, things can go awry, and that's exactly what happened. Taylor Spivey obviously just coming too hot, lost the front wheel on the blue paint, and Jon Lahair getting caught up, but, you know, I guess you don't usually run with your goggles around your neck, do you? Or drive with your goggles around your neck. So these are the things that happen.
I mean, this is triathlon at its very best, isn't it? I mean, it is all happening here with the Olympic champion and recently crowned world champion leading the way, attacking the water. Jan Lahair just separated now by a couple of body lengths as we head towards the end of this final swim.
Yep, Cassandra Beaugrand out front. Michael Gilliam will be happy. Let's head back down to him.
Michael, difficult short shoot decision here for you. Team policy has been the athlete who wins it gets it. That was Cassandra, but Georgia might need it for the title. What are you going to do?
Well, history has been not too favourable to me here. Let me do this to you. There it is.
Georgia Taylor-Brown. I think that's the decision I would have made as well with Cassandra Beaugrand in the form she's in. You can almost trust her to do her best to finish this race. At worst in second position, barring incident. But Georgia Taylor-Brown's in a pack. So do we agree in this situation with Michael Gilliam's decision to give Georgia Taylor-Brown maybe 2 or 3 seconds advantage?
100%. I'm right behind him on this one. I'm not always behind Michael, but I'm definitely behind him.
Is this the first time you agree?
Yeah.
She might need it. Let's see how far back she is in the swim. You can see the red of Taylor-Brown. The waff is in there as well. It's tough to see which one's which. But she's certainly not having the swims we know she's capable of. Beaugrand, on the other hand, has looked controlled throughout.
And I'm just looking about who's leading. So we've got Cassandra out of the water first. No surprise there. Jon Lahair just behind. A good swim from the Podium athlete as they head out of the water. But interestingly, I can't pick out who is leading the chase group. And it looks to me like it's a Podium athlete. And I have to say, it's got to be Leonie Perriot. And if it is, that's got to be a pretty steady pace swim, hasn't it? Because Leonie Perriot, not known for her swimming, certainly known for her running. Let's take a look. Yep, and it's Leonie Perriot Waff is out on her feet. Georgia Taylor-Brown just coming out of the water now, stumbling up that step. And is that Taylor Spivey who swam herself back into this race? Let's take a look now on our timing graphics.
We'll get the time soon. We're going to see Fanny Zalai be eliminated for those fans of the young 16-year-old Hungarian athlete who's been so good. I think she's well off the back now, nearly 2 minutes. So she should see the flag. Beaugrand on. You can see they don't really have the opportunity, if they're not thinking ahead of time, to put their bikes in the correct gear before they rack the bikes. And Beaugrand was in a big gear then, and you can see her really grinding it out for the first 3 or 4 pedal strokes.
It's a frantic course, Will, it really is. Let's have a look. 21 seconds down now. This race here at NEOM is between these two athletes. If they can stay upright, it's between these two athletes. Georgia Taylor-Brown, she was off the back of that pack. But interestingly, as I said, Leonie Perriot there leading out the swim. She's not a bad swimmer, but certainly not the fastest swimmer. And that's where we can see the gap has grown ever more between the chase group and Cassandra Beaugrand and Jon Leher. These two fighting it out for the win here, but it's all to play for in the overall title as well. Georgia Taylor-Brown is going to have to finish in 3rd place, and that means she's going to have to outrun Perriot. That's going to be tough as well for her.
Just trying to do the maths right now. If Jon Leher comes 2nd to Beaugrand, where does Georgia Taylor-Brown have to finish? And I'm going to ask smarter people than me to figure that out.
There's not smarter people than you, surely.
And then come back to me. And then come back to me right now. Our statsman Graham Atchison is on the case. I can see the WhatsApp is whirring, so I'm looking forward to finding out exactly. But right now, it's really out of these two. It put a great swim in and really put athletes at the back under pressure from getting eliminated. Fulliger, for example, a minute 03 back after being so strong in the opening bike. And Casper, De Koning, both showing the red flag of elimination from Tomo. And then, so we have, what now, 13 left in this race? No, 12 left in the race with Kathy Ashar right on the bubble. Next time through transition. 22 seconds back to Taylor-Brown. And suddenly, this is wide open for the title for Leher, our Boston winner, who won in the opening race in London in 2023, won in the opening race again here in 2024. And since then has gone 5th, 3rd, and that DNF with the mechanical at the top of the hill in Toulouse. So I guess Tim Don will be sweating this one out. Let's find out right now as Leher hits the lead on the bike.
Tim, this is blown up completely, a huge lead now. It's likely one of those two are going to win this, but you need another athlete before Georgia. Leonie, could she do it?
I think she can, but Georgia, they're playing the team game for once, and Georgia's got the short shoot, so she will jump ahead on that first lap. But we saw in the first lap of the first race, Leonie's running really well. Jean against the Olympic champion, that'll be a hard-fought win if she can get it, but I'm backing the Podium ladies all the way.
Beth Potter's been given the short shoot by Non-Stanford. You can see that SC on the graphic just before. Now, confirmation that if Jon Leher wins this, Taylor-Brown needs to finish on the podium. Now, if Jon Leher finishes 2nd, Taylor-Brown can finish 4th and still win. So it does come down to an athlete like a Leonie Perriot who has a fantastic run. Or could it be team orders for Kate Waff to make way for Taylor-Brown? That's a big question as well. So much to play out. That comes down to the fact as well that there are more points on offer here in NEOM, so 20 for the win instead of 15, then 18, 16, 14, 12 in your top 5, so 2 points the gap between each, and that is why we do this, to make it all to play for.
And there is still a lot to play for. Just hearing Katja Shah has been eliminated.
11 left in this race then.
Stripe, so yep.
Should stay that way.
It should stay that way, touch wood, yes. There's Katja Shah. She had a strong start to this race, but falls 90 seconds down and is out of this race. So Leonie Perriot, she's the fastest runner on this course for me. So the fact that Georgia Taylor-Brown has a short shoot is good news.
Taylor-Brown, though, she's leading the pack. She's got the short shoot. Im's no slouch either. Waff's a good runner, but look at that group, though. Spivey's put herself back in that group as well. Potter's there too, so Taylor-Brown needs the run of her life. So she doesn't know. She won't know whether or not Laher has finished first or second. All she knows is that she needs to be no more than 2 positions behind Laher. So if Laher's first, she needs third. If Laher's second, she needs fourth.
I think all you can do as an athlete out on this course now is give 100%. You can't start thinking about where you are, the numbers. That would drive you crazy. Georgia Taylor-Brown has just got to go out there and have the run of her life to stay in the run for a 3rd historic title here in NEOM as Jean Laher rounds that final corner. She'd like a little break now, wouldn't she, I think, away from Cassandra Beaugrand to come into transition with a few seconds over her. It's going to be tough to beat the Olympic champion who found herself in such great form. Nina Ein there from Stars and Stripes making her debut here in NEOM. She's having a great start,
she really is,
to her Super Tri campaign. A little bit late in the season, but I no doubt we'll see her back here racing next year.
Yeah, it's good to see people coming in on debut, and you've got athletes like Tim Hellwig as well, who's had a great debut season. And, you know, we've seen athletes come in and out, like an Emma Lombardi, who's been excellent again. But when you see people like Im or Hellwig, and we'll have Yannis Seguin come in for his debut in the men's race in about 30 minutes' time, just add to the strength of the Super Tri roster as the next generation continues to push through.
Well, but Beaugrand's best finish, overall finish, she hasn't always, she's raced, I think, ever since the beginning, hasn't she, of Super Tri racing. So she's taken part in all of the series that we've seen take place. This is the 6th running of Super Tri. It goes from strength to strength, but her best finish overall was in 2018 when she finished 3rd on the podium.
So, I guess in a team's perspective, it's Beaugrand versus Laher in terms of picking up maximum points for crown versus podium, and then you've got Woff and Taylor-Brown versus Perriot. So Tim Don will want Laher first and Perriot in 3rd, whereas Michael Gilliam will want Beaugrand first, and then ideally Woff and Taylor-Brown in 3rd and 4th, probably
the other way around.
Really, the other way around. But there's so many interesting permutations for that team's race, because usually the crown women put points into podium, and then the podium men claw points back. And so if it gets too big, the gap for podium, Crown could be winning another title and taking one away from Tim Don, who's won the last couple, actually. Well, hang on, he's won 2021 and 2023, and then Crown Racing or Bahrain Victoria Scorpions won 2022. So it's Chris McCormack versus Tim Don usually, or in this case, Michael Gilliam versus Tim Don.
Jean Laher now approaching the final transition, the final run. What she got in her legs, she's going to have the run of her life if she's going to outrun the Olympic champion, and a great dismount there from Cassandra Beaugrand. Let's see if she can nail this transition this time round. The previous one, she had to run one loop with her helmet, and her bike has gone down again. This is not great news.
Well, no penalty last time, so you've got to assume no penalty again this time for that. And it is a straight-up run. Get out of the way. I don't want the water bottles. Get out of my road, says Jean Laher. And to the front goes Taylor-Brown, but we know Laher has a real kick on her. The last 300 or 400 metres, she can find another gear. So she paces herself off the back of Beaugrand, who looks to extend those long legs out the front, and already she's putting a little gap into Laher.
She has to go with her early on, because Cassandra goes out fast in these kind of races, and then she will just back off slightly so Vion can just hang on to her heels. I just noticed there in our little picture on the right hand of the screen, it's gone now as Cassandra Beaugrand looks like she's striding away with this race. She really does. But Georgia Taylor-Brown having another bad transition there. Yep. We can see 26 seconds down. She does have the short shoot though. Spivey has made a brilliant recovery from that crash.
At the moment, Taylor-Brown, if it finishes like it is now, and the short shoot is taken there by Beaugrand, so she's got quite the advantage. She can only take it on the first lap of the run, so Georgia Taylor-Brown needs 4th. If she can finish 4th, she will be your individual title winner here in NEOM. If she finishes any lower than that, it will be Jean Laher who'll take a surprise win, making up a 6-point advantage. But Cassandra Beaugrand, well, she hasn't won a Super Tri race since NEOM 2023, and she looks like she's going to do it this time. When she looks calm at the start of a race, you think, well, she's going to be a real threat, and she looked like that when we saw the close-ups of her just before the race was about to begin, and she's had a smart race. She's become, I think, she's always had so much raw talent, but she's become a really complete and smart racer in the last maybe 18 months to 2 years.
I couldn't agree with you more. I really couldn't. And on the bike as well, she's worked on those bike skills that she desperately needed 18 months ago, and she's just gone from strength to strength. Jon Laher has not been able to go with her. Let's have a little look and see where Georgia Taylor-Brown is. She should be able to hold on to fourth in this race, you would have thought.
Yeah, I saw her back of screen. Saw her back of screen, and she was leading that chase pack. Bo Grant has just really put it into her. Laher, who's trying to run her way back, but that gap is bigger than what it looks like on screen.
We'll
see the split in just a second, maybe 9, 10, 8 seconds, 9 seconds. And who's leading? It is Taylor-Brown, who has Gap Perriot. So those two behind, I think it's Matthias and Perriot. We'll see on our...
No, it's Potter. It's Potter behind.
Well, can she run down Taylor-Brown? If the pair of them do, Laher will be the champion. If not, and we can see bottom right, no, it's Perriot and Potter, then Waff, then I'm, then Spivey, who's been valiant. And Matthias is your top 9, 40 seconds across them. So Bo Grant way out the front. And does Beth Potter have the legs to deny Georgia Taylor-Brown? Let's find out from Non Stanford.
Non, this is one of the most dramatic finishes we've ever seen to a Super Tri League season. Georgia's going to need to finish in fourth if John comes second. You've just seen them all come through. Perriot, Potter right on her. Who's going to do it?
I mean, I told George she needed to finish fourth then, and she kind of looked at me. She looked super tired, and the other two are going to be very motivated. The other two haven't had podiums this year, so I think it's going to be a bit of a battle. She just needs to hold on to fourth. She knows there's a lot on the line, so I think that will get her there, and fingers crossed. It'll be great to see George on top step this year.
Wow, just as Non was speaking there, Perriot has gone past Taylor-Brown, which means that if she can't fight back, it'll be Potter and Taylor-Brown. So there goes Perriot, there goes Taylor-Brown, Potter behind her, so Taylor-Brown currently in fourth position, which will get her home by the barest of margins.
Oh, Georgia Taylor-Brown is hurting. My heart is going out to her. It really is. We all want her to take this title. I think when you've got an athlete on the course that has 3 out of 3 victories, right, well, you're kind of willing them home. You really are. But Potter wants a better result. Cassandra Beaugrand, we were saying earlier, she's got the Olympic title. She's got the World Championship title, but she hasn't won a race in Super Tri this season. But she is heading that way right now. Glances over her shoulder. And she has this race in the bag.
She does indeed, and she did it on the final run like she's done so many times before. It's been a bit of a Super Tri drought for the world champion, the Olympic champion, but what a controlled race, and onto the black carpet. Cassandra Beaugrand in the desert like she did last year is your NEOM winner. Takes it in a controlled, perfect race. Laher was valiant but couldn't find the run leg. She finishes second. Perriot is going to come home third, but Taylor-Brown is right behind her, and she's got Potter. And Laher is watching, not knowing exactly what's going to happen. Perriot is third, and your title winner is Georgia Taylor-Brown by 2 seconds. Nina Ime comes in the top 6. Waff in 7th position. Big points then for Crown Racing. Unfortunate for Taylor Spivey, finishes in 8th. But 2 seconds at the end of 5 rounds across 3 continents in 2 months. That's what the gap was. And the title's been decided by the slimmest of margins.
I don't know how you're still speaking, Will. I really don't. Oh my God.
Wow.
A tough race for Cassandra Beaugrand, as we see Kate Waff, last year's Super Tri Series champion, just reflecting a little bit there on her 7th place. I have to say, wow, what a comeback for Spivey, who had that crash. She will be kicking herself, she really will, thinking what would have been, really. And I think that crash there just changed this whole race. It really did. Cassandra Beaugrand is our winner, though, and Georgia Taylor-Brown even is the Super Tri champion of 2024.
90 seconds across the top 10. And big smiles for Michael Gillian, less so for Beaugrand, who has put it all out there and taken the win. Well, there's been some fighting across the board, and across the line comes Jess Fullager, Alice Beto as well. As we said, 1:31 in arrears, but these athletes have all fought so hard in this one. And time to compare notes as Non-Stanford talks to Fullager and Beto and congratulates the 3-time supertri champion, Georgia Taylor-Brown, who, as we said, did it by 2 as Beaugrand helps Chase McQueen get ready for his race, which is coming up very, very soon.
You can't underestimate the conditions out there. I mean, they look fairly benign, they really do. But I tell you what, once we step out of our air-conditioned studio, it's something.
I'm not stepping out of it.
Very, very different. It's absolutely brutal out there. It's typical supertri racing. And really, what a race the athletes have brought us today, Will. It's been absolutely unpredictable and totally spectacular.
Yeah, and the men have watched that, and now they get to do it. Max Stapley going past there, Johnny Brownlee as well. What racing that was. Beth Potter, I wonder if she knew out there, probably not, such was the permutation, that she could have denied Georgia Taylor-Brown the title had she overtook her, but no doubt they were just as deep as they could possibly go. Here is Alex Yee getting ready, the Olympic and world champion. Just been out of the water, and Liv Matthias, who increasingly has been a factor in these races, and she's been, you know, a top 10 athlete for a little while, but in the last 2 or 3 rounds she's become a race shaper.
Oh, she's going to be one to watch. I just don't think we can forget her performance in London there, riding away. She's just got a little bit of work to do on her run, but the swim and bike, absolutely brilliant. Nina Rhyme as well, that was absolutely awesome. The winner from the Rome World Cup race, racing supertri for the very first time, finishing in a very commendable 6th position. We're just having a look there. Vincent Luis, Georgia Taylor-Brown's boyfriend, having a little chat, perhaps giving him some advice and wishing him well in his last ever. Well, she might do. Do you know things Georgia might give him a bit of advice about that bike course? And
braver than I
mean, you know, he should be listening to the main woman in his life.
That's true. That is so true. That is absolutely true. Let's have a look then at the official results. Beaugrand ran away with it in the end from Lahare, but Crown and Podium split those top 4 positions. So big points for all of them. Taylor-Brown by 2 seconds over Beth Potter. That was the difference between handing Jean Lahare the title or keeping it for herself, which she does for the 3rd time, breaking new ground here at supertri. Nina Rhyme, as we said, comes in on debut and finishes in 6th overall. Kate Woff hands over the title she won in 2023 here in NEOM to Taylor-Brown, and Taylor Spivey, who hung on all day after a crash while leading. So extremely upsetting result for her, but nevertheless, she has been a factor and continues to be, even after 6 seasons at the top of racing. And that is how it shakes out. And to think we're only halfway through, Annie Emerson, to racing once again. We're going to hear from Beth Potter in just a second, but, you know, I guess I'm just a little bit speechless, I suppose, as to how that one played out. You know, let's go down there, give us a chance to have a break and hear from Beth Potter.
Beth, you look pretty hot. What a day out there.
Yeah, that was hot, and yeah, hot way to end the season, but yeah, glad it's done.
Well, can you talk us through that race a little bit? There was so much drama going on.
Yeah, there was. I was completely out of it after the first round and then managed to swim myself back into it. So, yeah, I think I just felt a bit rusty, a bit kind of lethargic, but got myself back in and, yeah, had a solid result at the end.
And a remarkable finish. You might not have even known when you were running, but that 2 seconds between you and Georgia, that was her clinging on for the title.
Yeah. No, I didn't know, because obviously I wasn't in the running for the title, but yeah, I just went all in, and yeah, I didn't have anything left by the end. So.
And a few reflections on your supertri league this year?
Yeah, it's not been the best, but yeah, I found it really mentally tough since the Olympics, and yeah, I think there's been long enough time now, so probably why my results are a little bit better, but it's been a long season and I'm looking forward to a good break.
Well, congratulations, Beth. Enjoy a nice holiday.
Thank you. Thanks, Beth.
Even athletes need a holiday, and some will need to rest and recuperate, some more than others, I suppose, after what's been a very big Olympic year. And some have had just enough petrol in the tank to scrape in to a title.
I like the fact that Potter, just having a look back now on the race, but I like the fact Potter sort of didn't say, look, I gave it to her, that she really didn't know what was going on, that Georgia won that race by herself, even if it was, or the title rather, even with just 2 seconds.
That's right, some of the highlights of them coming across the line. That was the moment where Jean Lahare was thinking, have I done it and have I not? But it was Taylor Brown's in the end. Nina Ime with a great race as well. And Kate Woff with a middling season by her exacting standards. As we head down now to our race presentation, we'll do the podiums for the overall later on. And on that beautiful NEOM Beach Games, what do you call that thing? Podium, I suppose.
Oh, with podium, definitely.
2 podium athletes on the podium. We'll head down now to the medal ceremony.
In third place, from France, representing Podium Racing, Leonie Herriot. In second place, from Luxembourg, presenting Podium Racing, Jean Lahare. And in first place, second supertri NEOM champion, from France, representing Crown Racing, Cassandra Beaugrand.
2 French women and a former French woman now racing for Luxembourg in Jean Lahare, and it just shows how good the French are at short course racing with their Grand Prix series. And another medal for Cassandra Beaugrand, and a great result to Leonie Herriot as well, her first podium of the year as well. So, run and done. The women's overall podium will be later on in the program. Time now to see a transition challenge of a different kind with Alex Shee and Georgia Taylor Brown.
Right.
Let's go. We've got this, come on.
I'm looking a bit nervous, so...
Yeah.
On your marks.
Go!
Oh my God.
Nicely, nicely, do it nicely.
Don't do it nicely, just get it off.
Do it nicely. Come on, faster than this. Not this nicely.
I couldn't get my shoulder out.
Go, go, go. Go, go, go.
Oh, let's go. Come on, Georgia. That'll do. Come on, Alex.
Come on.
He's catching, come on. Come on, Alex. Quick, one last go. Run.
I feel ridiculous.
Winner, winner.
How about that? Something a little bit different. Let's have a look at the women's league standings. In the end, 2 points it was. Taylor Brown, having never finished below second in the entire series, wins from Lahare. Cassandra Beaugrand elevates herself up into third overall from Taylor Spivey, who had a tough race, and Kate Woff will hear from Beaugrand right now.
Cassandra, what a performance, a brilliant win, and up onto third in the overall league series podium. Talk us through that one today.
Yeah, it was a tough race because of the heat, and I was just trying to do my best today after a very big year. So, yeah, my goal was also like to have some point for the team. So I'm happy. Georgia maybe is still first, so I'm happy about that as well. And yeah, happy to win today and finish on a good race.
Well, congratulations, Cassandra. A great finish to an amazing year for you. And let's bring in Jean. Jean, what a race out there today. Was there a moment you thought that league title might just be yours?
Yeah, like I was not expecting this kind of dynamic in the race. When we were finally only with Cassandra, I was like, girl, do you want to walk with me? Because I wasn't sure. And she took a relay, so I was okay, here we go. And I saw at the end of the bike we had a bit of a gap, and I was not sure we'll make it until the end, especially me. And yeah, we made it, so I'm super happy for my individual race. Leonie did super great too. I told her yesterday, so I was really happy for her. I think for the team it was not that good, but now the boy will smash it and we still have a little hope.
Well done, Sean. It's been a great year for you again. And here we have the champion, the first athlete in Super Tri League history to win 3 league titles. And wow, you did it the hard way today, Georgia.
I really did do the hard way, yeah. I thought I needed 3rd and then none told me I just needed to be 4th. So honestly, I was just hanging on for that 4th spot today. When Leonie went past me, I was like, I don't have anything more. But yeah, I was kind of out the back the whole race and not the best day for me. And it's kind of weird winning the title and not being on the podium for the individual race. But no, I got the title and that's all I came for today.
Just really quickly then, what does this actually mean to you? Because this is a little piece of history here today.
Yeah, no, it is definitely. I mean, it's really special. Yeah, no one's ever won 3 titles in a row. So, well, not in a row, but in history. So, no, I'm really quite proud of this one, especially after the hard year post-Olympics. So, it's nice to know that I can still be up there, still do it.
Well, you certainly can do it, Georgia, and you smashed it this year. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, a most deserving winner who has had such a great season, and suddenly Crown Racing have doubled their advantage at the top. We knew it would be some. It is actually a decent amount, 28 points they are, so they've got one hand then on the overall teams league, and a big podium racing effort by the men required. Big gaps back to Stars and Stripes and Brownlee. So that's where it stands, and it is time to get underway. Once again, no time to catch the breath. Tim Hellwig there, Dorian Connix, Kenji Nina in the foreground, all looking to have big races, and Michael Gilliam taking the chance to talk to Max Stapley, who is still stinging after coming down yesterday. The men's league standings as they are. Hayden Wilde in exactly the same position, Annie, as Georgia Taylor-Brown. If he finishes on the podium, then he wins the entire thing overall. Leo Berger's chasing him, Tim Hellwig as well in with a slimmer shot, as has Vasco Velasa. But Wilde, well, we found out, obviously, that it's not that easy to finish on the podium here in NEOM, even if you are having an incredible season as Hayden Wilde is.
And let's welcome Stars and Stripes Racing.
So we're going to welcome out the athletes in just a second, and it's going to be Brownlee Racing first. And there is the team owner, the undercover boss, Johnny Brownlee, on the left-hand side, a veteran of racing, 34 years of age. And, of course, you've got the newly crowned world champion on the other side in Alex Yee, also the Olympic champion. And big point getters in Sergio Baxter and Connor Bentley. They haven't had a great run of it, Brownlee Racing, thus far in 2024, so they'll be looking to finish strong. Dorian Connix, the 2023 world champion, is in the men's lineup. Kenji Nina is on for a big one. He wants a podium this year. Yannis Seguin, another Frenchman, Rome World Cup winner, comes in. And Leo Berger, well, his big question is, how does he stop Hayden Wilde?
Yeah, it's a good question. He's got a few weaknesses, not so many, that's why he's so hard to beat. But when he will make these mistakes, we will be there. And yeah, you know, everybody's tired at this point of the season, so we need to be careful not to make any penalty, any mistake, and to stay strong as a team.
And Tim Don, your team manager, what tactics has he given the team overall?
To stay like very focused until the finish line, because so many athletes are getting penalties for like little details. So we need to have a clean race and hopefully like stay very strong and like try some team moves as we did in London, for example, where Matt swam very well at the front. He's not here today, but we can count on a very strong team anyway.
All right, some choice words there from Leo Berger. Now, Tim Hellwig, he's in with a chance. He needs a win and Wilde to finish 5th or lower. Vasco Velasa, well, he had that famous win in Toulouse. Chase McQueen, he'll be strong in the swim. Pierre Leclerc is always strong. 4th in Paris, the 34-year-old. The manager, Parker Spencer. And Michael Gilliam's man, Hayden Wilde, in the box seat. Vincent Luis in his very last short course race of a glittering 15-year career. Max Stapley, he'll need a big swim. That's what he'll be looking for. And Bentler Thorne as well. We'll head down now to Adam.
We've got the 90-second rule for
Michael, that was an epic women's race. A title for one of your crown athletes, and you've blown that out to 28 points now. Is this in the bag?
Well, it's not in the bag yet. You know, anything can happen in this course. We saw Taylor Spivey. How unlucky was she? She was out in front, lost it. It can happen. You can wash a wheel out on this course very easy. Let's hope we just buckle down and buckle up, everybody. I am worried about one thing, the Baxter brothers in Brownlee Racing. I've never heard of them before.
The Baxter brothers?
That's thrown me.
What, Sergio Baxter? Who's the other Baxter?
I don't know.
Who knows? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what that means. I don't know if MG even knows. Exactly. But anyway, we get underway. 20 seconds until race starts. Stars and Stripes on the right-hand side of your screen. Crown this time on the outside. So look for Max Stapley in that team. Look for Chase McQueen, who's on the far right of your screen, to lead out this swim as well. He's been very, very strong in the swim, and it is time to get underway once again. Last race of the season for SuperTri in 2024. Into the water, nice and clean on the far left, Stapley on the far right, McQueen and 14 of the very best in short course racing in between them. And conditions getting more and more blustery, more difficult in the swim. And 9 legs between here and a very well-earned grand final dinner at the end of this one.
The athletes will be looking forward to that, won't they? I tell you what, this swim, though, is going to be strong, Will. It really is. With the 4 Frenchmen, if they're not up there in the front, I don't know what's happening in the sport, because Vincent Luis racing his final ever short course race will be up there. Koenig will be up there. Berger as well, the 2 athletes racing for Podium. Luis, of course. Vincent Luis racing for Crown. And Lecor as well, Pierre Lecor, who's come in for the last couple of races of the season, racing for Stars and Stripes. I speak about them because they are 4 of the strongest swimmers in the sport at the moment. They really are. Let's have a look down the left-hand side of our screen there. We can see the provisional teams league ranking. Ones to watch. Yes, they are picking out Chase McQueen. He's an incredibly strong swimmer, but still a lot to work on in the rest of his race. Stapley is up there as well, but as you mentioned, came down yesterday on a training ride, so he's going to be feeling a bit sore. Lecor, who I mentioned, Vincent Luis and Koenig as well, ones to watch. I'm excited to see Yi race off the back of that World Championship title that he won in Torremolinos, having had a tough SuperTri season, really. Apart from that brilliant first victory in Boston, the rest hasn't really been all plain sailing for him, has it?
No, it hasn't, but, you know, champions rise to the top. Actually, you know what, while you were talking, I was finding out exactly what he meant about the Baxter brothers. Now,
fire away.
Alex Yi's suit broke. And so he is wearing Sergio Baxter's spare suit. So there's 2 Baxters out there. So it turns out Michael Gilliam was making some kind of sense.
He was
apparently
making sense. So it will look like that Yi looks like a Baxter, but he's obviously not going to be Baxter. It is Alex Yi, the Olympic champion. But Baxter, Sergio Baxter, is sharing his spare suit with Alex Yi, the Olympic champion, whose zip broke on his. Now we can see the athletes now. They're making their way round and back to shore. Just 300 metres this first leg, and it's being led by Chase McQueen from Stars and Stripes at the moment.
This time we can't mistake Chase McQueen for Matt Hauser, because Matt Hauser not here after that accident in Torremolinos. He is still recovering, ended his season early. McQueen's finding the going easy, and speaking of easy, look at that stroke, just slices through the water. It's just very Beau Grand-like, except for that moment where he goes directly underneath.
I mean, it's big enough, the buoy, isn't it? It's big enough.
Well, you know, it's a very narrow sea, the Red Sea. You've got to really pick your line through it. And McQueen has picked the fastest line underneath the buoy as the pace on from the beginning. I think Stapley off his shoulder there on the left.
I think it's Vincent Luis, actually.
Yeah, it is. I think he's got that vertical hand entry. Luis, you're right.
And another 2 podium athletes up there as well, no surprise. Leo Berger as well. He's sitting in 2nd place behind Wilde overall in the ranking, and he's a bit of a threat here today, having won the series last year and coming to some good form in this final race.
Stapley was way off the back, actually. Expected him to have a better one than that. Luis 2nd out of the water, McQueen 1st. So the points could go to Stars and Stripes unless Luis can really sprint past him at the back end of this one, because the line for that is at the end, but he won't. McQueen will get the top points, but the short shoot is where he's really... Well, it's going to make a real bearing on this race. 3 Stars and Stripes athletes and the top 4, so a great start. No doubt we'll talk to Parker Spencer soon. Luis splitting them, and looks like a solid transition from McQueen, so likely a short shoot 4 stars and stripes, and in fact they'll come out, well, nearly 1-2.
That was a great swim from Vasco Villaza. He won in the Toulouse race, first ever victory on the Super Tri series. So a great start to his campaign here in NEOM for Vasco Villaza. And it has been a really, really strong start for Stars and Stripes. Vincent Luis there, the only athlete, or the second athlete, Max Stapley sitting in 9th for Crown Racing. Wilde back 16 seconds. Torn as well, 17 seconds. Yi finds himself 15 seconds down, but they're all strung out down this road, and I've got a feeling that they're all going to come back together again shortly as Chase McQueen zips up his shoes with Vincent Luis on his wheel. LaCour is there and Vasco Villaza. A little bit of a break, and it's Connor Bentley, the first athlete for Brownlee Racing, 8 seconds down.
Yeah, looking at the names a little further back, obviously Hayden Wilde didn't have a great swim, 16 seconds. Brownlee, 16 seconds. Connings, 17 seconds back. Stapley had a poor swim by his exacting standards, and Alex Yi there in 10th position overall. So, but for Hayden Wilde fans, I mean, if you're a fan of Hayden Wilde, you know that this happens pretty much every single race, and then he bikes his way back up to the front. So we'll see if that is exactly what happens, but we know if you do go just 1% past the threshold, you can find the tarmac here in NEOM on this really smooth, brand new tarmac that has sand blowing across it across the course of the day. And this race a little bit later in the day than we usually see as well. So plenty to think about. Villaza in a nice spot there as Luis takes control of this race, and LaCour tries to tack onto the back of a group of 4. And I don't think there's a single athlete out there that begrudge Vincent Luis having one of the races of his life to take it out, because he's been such a stalwart of this series, obviously a twice champion in the same years that Katie Zafiris won the title as well, but also very generous with his time and advice and bringing through the next generation of not only French athletes, but athletes from all nations who've looked up to him as I guess he's got this certain aura, doesn't he, Vince? Well, invincibility, or he did for a long time.
2018, 2019, I was going to say 2018, 2019 Super Tri Series winner. Just having a look there at the graphic on the left-hand side of the screen, it's Hayden Wilde sitting back in 16th place, 12 seconds down, but he has a train of athletes in front of him, so I don't think he'll be staying at the back of this group for too long. But all the athletes at the moment, 16 of them just in this long train, no really big separations at the moment.
Villaza is off the front. All the teams represented in that front group, and Alex Yi with the golden helmet and the golden Trek bike that he was gifted after winning the gold medal is doing his best to stay with this group of 7 athletes who are right on the bubble in the bike handling, and there's no margin for error with those barriers there, some narrow roads and some narrow turns as well. And soon we'll welcome one of our female athletes into commentary, can tell us exactly what it is like out there. Jess Bulliger, who was really strong in the early parts of that women's race. We move on, and Velasca and Luis, who spend some time together, train together, and know each other very well, are working on the front, whereas McQueen leads the train that now includes Alex Yi.
Nerves of steel needed here, they really are. This is a technical duff bike course, and with the wind crossing across the course as well, it's making it pretty hard. Good to see the Olympic champion just on the back of this lead pack at the moment, but it's Vasco Villaza leading the way.
All 4 Stars and Stripes athletes in that top 6. Yanis Seguin is in there as well. The Rome World Cup winner, the Frenchman who comes in on debut in this one. Never easy to do that, but he's found himself in the front pack after a solid swim, and there he is, second to last, with Yi on the back there, Helwig as well. And then 5 seconds back to Johnny Brownlee, Sergio Baxter, Kenji Nina. Max Stapley will head down now to Adam, who has Parker Spencer, who will be, well, he's never excited, but a little bit excited.
Parker, 4 of your athletes in the top 6. Is this a deliberate tactic to try and isolate Hayden here?
Yeah, we knew we needed a really big day here, and I mean, we got 4 guys in the top 6 right now. Let's see what this looks like after the 2 rounds at least, but we need to keep Hayden in the back, and Yeah, I mean, right now, Chase crashed yesterday. The fact that he was able to still have the fastest swim and come out with a short shoot, that's really big for us. But just like I said, if Tim is right there with Vasco at the end, it's Tim's short shoot.
If Tim comes out with Vasco at the end there, it's Tim's short shoot.
Yeah, that's a tough
Fair
one.
enough.
That's about as excited as Parker gets, really.
I wish he'd
isn't
calm
it?
down.
I really wish he would calm down. But this is panning out to be an interesting race. Wilde still sitting at the back as well. I wonder if he's just a little bit fatigued after that pretty monumental race in Tremolinos, where he took the race title but not the overall series title. That went to the Olympic champion Alex Yee. Vasco Villaza glancing over his shoulder now, and they have sort of come back together again, haven't they? Just 9 seconds separating 15 athletes. Connor Bentley from Brownlee Racing now falling behind 5 seconds in 16th position.
Yeah, Bentley will find the going tough now from where he is, especially into the wind as they go. Bergier off the front now. Yee using that opportunity under brakes to move up a few places. Brownlee leading that chase pack 6 seconds in arrears, but it's Bergier off the front now to catch you up on the title permutations. Hayden Wilde, well, he has a 5-point gap. A podium finish will see him win it all. Bergier needs a win, and for Wilde to finish 4th or lower. And at the moment, as it stands, which obviously there's a long way to go, but as it stands, he would be the winner. Hellwig needs a win and Wilde to finish 5th or lower. A win and Bergier 2nd would still win it for Hellwig. So very tight there, isn't it? Again?
Brownlee just braking a little bit too hard coming into that 180-degree turn there.
So Bergier, I mean, he needs to do what he did when he won the 2022 WTCS final and just have the race of his life. His first ever win at that level, actually, and then hope everything falls his way, which it did on that day, and maybe it will again on this day. Can't worry about what's behind you. Villaza, then Lewis, then Yee's moved up to 4th. Hellwig as well there in the top 5 as they come off the bike and onto the black carpet. The bike short shoot is available as well. The first one went to Stars and Stripes. Can they do what they did, or what Brownlee did last time out, and deny anyone the bike short shoot? It looks like Podium's going to pick it up because it was a great transition from Bergier, who comes out on the run ahead of Villaza. Lewis comes in 3rd, then Hellwig, then Seguin, then Yee. Let's see if he's got the run legs today. LaCour and McQueen, and Hayden Wilde has got his helmet on. Was he watching John Lahare in the women's race? What happened there?
What is it about this race? I tell you what, I think it is just throwing all of the athletes. It's tight, it's technical, it's excruciatingly hot, and I just think that is confusing the athletes. Apart from Leo Berger, Vasco Villaza hasn't put a foot wrong yet. I think he's just buoyed by that win, that first ever Supertri win in Toulouse, and he's hungry for some more. He really is. Vincent Luis sitting in 3rd, but Wilde is having to work hard,
well,
as we can see there with his helmet on.
You can never be too careful, can you? Safety first for Hayden Wilde. Never know what could happen on the run. Oh, man.
And we're sitting here laughing, right, but it's not funny. I think when you're deeply in the red, you make those kind of mistakes. It was Toulouse last year, wasn't it, where we saw Brownlee try to dive into the water with his helmet on, so it's all been done before.
Well, you know what, like, he might forget it's on there and then get straight in the water,
Might do.
Who knows?
Let's hope he doesn't.
Anyway, Villaza takes over at the front from Bergier. Yee has capped Hellwig and the rest. Lewis, who hasn't really had the run that he used to have in the last year or two. He's certainly coming back to it, but that little kick of pace he probably doesn't have, and anyone who's been past the age of 35 will understand that. He is back in 5th position, and the man in the helmet who had one shoe on to finish the last race and now has an extra helmet on in the middle of this one is in 6th position, with Seguin there as well, as we head back down out to Adam and try and recover ourselves.
Michael, Hayden running with his helmet on, is this the strangest tactic or just madness in the heat?
It could have been a genius stroke right at that little minute there, so let's see what happens. We needed a couple of seconds. I said, don't worry about it, go with it. Let's see if he drops it on the way through on this next lap.
Okay, so that was an instruction then. Don't worry about taking your helmet off, just run with it and take it off on the next lap, which would cost him more time.
Did he just
to stop at the box?
Did he just make that up on the spot?
100%.
Yeah, I think he did, didn't he?
100%. Yep, you never know, do you? Alex Yee goes to the front, Villaza and now Bergier, and these three will try to work together, and it's Hellwig and the man in the helmet in 4th and 5th position. Seguin Lacour there as well, a couple of seconds back to Conix, and Brownlee has taken a second back from this group as well, as he tries to join that group and drop Baxter and McQueen.
And this is a smashed up field now, it really is, isn't it? With 11th place Baxter 13 seconds down now, and they're making it very difficult for some of the athletes, the Olympic champion at the front.
All right, having the helmet on hasn't stopped Hayden Wilde. He's moved up to 4th, trying to drag Helwig with him. Now at the back there you can see Vetla Thorne, Max Stapley, who won't figure much in the points if things go that way. And Brownlee is trying valiantly to join the French group of Lewis, Lacour, Seguin and Conix, who are all stuck together. There they are behind Helwig. Seguin leading the way, and you might not know as much about him if you're a supertri fan. 24 years of age. He beat Luke Willie into 2nd place in Rome to win the World Cup, and silver in the European Champs in Vichy this year. And part of that system that just keeps spitting out great short course athletes. As Wilde goes helmet off, goggles on, got all the equipment with him. Cannot be too prepared. He's prepared for every single leg of a triathlon at this point. He's got everything on that he needs.
Look at Alex G though. I think he just wants to make amends for what has been a little bit of a difficult Super-Tri season. Then he's off the back of that World Championship final race in Torremolinos, which made quite a lot of hard work for himself before he did eventually take the title, 4th time lucky. Vasco Velarza and Alex G now leading the way as they head towards the water. But Alex G looking very, very relaxed at the moment.
Yeah, he is, but he always looks like that, doesn't he? And when he really targets a race, he's going to do it. Here we go for the other short shoot. Brownlee wants it. Brownlee wants it. And Stars and Stripes want to deny it. And we're going to have to get the photo finish on that one.
Velarza got it, didn't he, I think, by the looks of things?
Well, yeah, the graphic says Vasco Velarza, so we'll go with that until we hear something different. Yep, we're confirmed that Velarza did take it, so Stars and Stripes.
How's that?
Well, they deny Brownlee a short shoot.
Yeah.
And that means they can only take one, or they can only give it to one athlete, but they've denied Brownlee one. So Podium and Stars and Stripes will pick up the short shoots as into they go the water for the 2nd time. And 34 seconds across the top 14 athletes, so still really anyone's to play for. Vincent Luis lost 10 seconds in that run, which is something I didn't think I would ever say.
So let's have a look what's happening. I'll tell you what, I really think this race here is turning out to be the toughest one we've seen so far this season. The temperature outside well above 30 degrees, water temperature around about 26, so they're not going to get a lot of cooling off in there, that's for sure. But Brownlee just making the top 10, 15 seconds down.
So, a minute 10, Connor Bentley, he's well off the back. Kenji Need's not having the race I hoped for him either, at 45 seconds in arrears.
It's a shame because he's gone from strength to strength in the series, but I think a few of these athletes just finding the conditions here really, really tough.
Well, let's talk about the conditions, and to do that, what better to have someone who's actually experienced the conditions other than the two of us who just sit here and eat lollies. Jess Fulliger, welcome to commentary.
Hello.
It's been an interesting women's race. How was it out there dealing with these conditions? Very hot in the water, very hot with the tarmac reflecting back at you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Tough conditions out there. It is really hot, but especially the water is very choppy out there. First swim, so congested, so choppy, really bunched, and yeah, out there it is windy, which is kind of nice in a way. It's kind of like a hot hairdryer, but at least it's giving us some sort of refreshment. But yeah, just really brutal racing.
All right, we're going to keep catching up with you in just a second, but we're going to head down now to Adam, who's going to talk to Tim Don, who has a short shoot in his pocket and athletes near the front.
Tim, you've got a short shoot there behind you, ready to give out. You've got Leo, contender here, and you've got some teammates around him. How are you going to pull this one off?
Well, you know, they need to race from the front. We didn't have the best first swim, but Leo, Yanis, and now Dorian had a great run. Dorian is in really good run form, so we need to try and have a fast run on this second race to get some more points. But I think it's going for the overall, and we're trying to pack them up the top, just like Jean and Leone did.
Yeah, it must be hard sitting there just watching it all unfold so quickly and the changes that are made. And you can see athletes well off the back and broken up. And you can see, Jess, that the pace is really on in this one. And the second swim is where things start to really kind of string out. And you can see whether athletes are going to have a good day or not. And what we do see is that Alex Yee is looking pretty calm and comfortable, which for Brownlee Racing, your team, is a positive sign.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that as a team we might have not had the series that we hoped for overall, but we all sat down last night and said, right, we're going to give this one last shot and give everything we have out there. And Alex looks like he's going well. I know that Johnny was a few seconds back, but maybe he can make up some time on the second swim and see how we go.
How's the team's concept been for you? I mean, you see these men in the water, and Brownlee's a really tight-knit group, and Johnny's obviously bought into the whole thing to bring this team to life, and experiencing that team element, and these guys out there doing it for you must be great.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been quite a tight-knit group from the start. I know we raced together on the World Series and World Cup, so we know each other quite well, but it just means that we all get along really well, and we all want each other to do well, and we know that we're going to race as hard as we can for each other as well.
Talk us through this transition as you see it. Obviously, Vilasa on the front, Vincent Luis, the old veteran, and Alex Yee are our top three. Connix has tacked onto the back, but talk us through the transition as it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So we know that Vince is going to want to do well because it's his last short course race. So I think it'd be really interesting if we could see if a little group gets away. I know Vasco's up there. Leo was up there on the second group, so I wonder if he'll be able to make it on. But Alex is in quite a comfortable place up there, so hopefully they can get a group working.
Well, Jess, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Go and warm down, and hopefully, I'm not sure whether you guys will have a spot on the team's podium or not, but we'll do our best to see if that works out.
Well, we were hoping that Connor gets a good run split, so we'll see if we get any run points. But thank you for having me.
Not at all. Bit of carnage there. Annie Emerson just reacting to that one as they came onto the bike.
Oh, I'm not sure what Alex he was doing there, sort of banging his bike on the floor. Something was wrong. I think he was trying to get his pedals and his shoes in the right place, but it's Vasco Vilasa, as it was after the first swim, now really pushing the pace. Vincent Luis is trying to go with him, and Alex Yee has been slightly thrown by that transition as Johnny Brownlee moves up the table in 6th place now. Max Stapley is 35 seconds down, so it's around about Pierre Lecour. Top 10 is where our breakers come, Will. Chase McQueen, the early leader, has fallen back 18 seconds now.
Yeah, but Wilde has really put himself in there, hasn't he? And he's brought that back. It was 20 seconds. It's come back to 8 seconds. He needs to finish on the podium to guarantee himself the overall win as well. But Vilasa, having come off that win in Toulouse, I think he's just brought himself a lot of self-belief. When a lot of the other athletes were around lunchtime coming out doing laps and laps on this bike course, I walked into where the lunch was being served. Not another athlete in there, just Vasco Vilasa, just quietly having his own lunch. I'm like, you're not going out there to do laps? He's like, but why would I? It's too hot. And it's nice when an athlete, especially a young guy like him, he's like, well, I have my own process. I'm not worried about what everybody else is doing. And then I'm going to go out and I'm going to execute my race and my process and not think, He's gone down. We put the mockers on him, and just like happened to Taylor Spivey, another Stars and Stripes athlete, this time on the turn before. Vasco Vilasa loses the front in the lead again. Terrible result.
Deeply frustrating for him. It really, really is. And I was just about to say he's got great skills. He's nailing this. As you said, cool as a cucumber. It can happen to the best of them, because for me, Vasco Vilasa and Taylor Spivey, two of the really, really technically strong cyclists in supertri racing, both having hit the deck. And that's really disappointing for Vasco Vilasa, who was just about to put on the most brilliant display of racing for us. Let's hope he can ride himself back into this race, but at the moment he's more than 20 seconds down. Now we can see Chase McQueen sitting in 10th, Baxter 29 seconds, but a really, really disappointing day for the Portuguese athlete racing for Stars and Stripes. And of course, for Stars and Stripes, those are vital points that they need.
Yeah, they are. And suddenly Brownlee Racing thinks to themselves, well, can we make it up? And we're going to head down now, and 1 minute it's Parker Spencer happy, the next minute it's Parker Spencer unhappy, and that's how quickly things can change. Let's hear from him now with Adam.
Parker, I cannot believe we're here again. You've had your head in your hands. What happened?
Yeah, it looks like Vasco went down in the exact same place that Taylor did earlier today, so can't catch that great of a break right now between these two races where we had both leaders go down, but Vasco's a tough athlete. I think that he can still make up some ground, and we still have Tim Helwig and Pierre up there.
Too hot coming into that corner, and he knew it coming in too. He just came in a little bit too quickly.
The back wheel went, didn't it?
Yep.
But he was smart enough to get out of the way, actually, and think ahead for the athletes coming round the corner. He didn't think about jumping up to his bike and then zooming off. He thought, no, I've got to let these guys go safely. Wow, look at
Yanis Seguin takes the opportunity to have a little mini break. Wilde in position too. Group of 8, well, group of 7 chasing that man out the front. Yanis Seguin on debut, and it's, you know, gutsy play from him. He's the only guy out there who hasn't had experience in supertri racing this format. And he's thought, well, why not? Why not have a crack? And Hayden Wilde, well, he knows exactly what he has to do. So he will wait and see what happens to the man out front.
I don't know if I can handle the next half an hour. I mean, I've got to. I'm going to. I love it.
Please
but
don't leave. Please don't leave.
I don't know if I can handle it, honestly. I hate to see the athletes coming down, but it happens. It's bike racing, you know, and it's easily done. And I think he'll probably say himself, he did come in a little bit quick. The back wheel went, and there was no coming back from that. But great racing from Yanis, stepping in for Matt Hauser, who had a nasty crash. We wish him well in the grand final. Torremolinos, the World Triathlon Championship event.
Okay, well, the group led by Wilde, probably the best bike handler out there. They're following his line, and they're following Yanis Seguin. Frenchman 1 and 2, with Vincent Luis there for a second, who's dropped back now to 5th. Dorian Conix and Leo Bergier also in that group, so a very strong French presence. And with Connor Bentley eliminated, but still athletes in it, we head down now to Brownlee manager Non Stanford.
Non, Alex here. He's had a little bit of a difficult league season, but he really looks like he wants this. And Johnny's in there as well, Johnny Brownlee.
Yeah, it's great to see both of those boys up there. Alex has really stepped it up this race, and hopefully he'll stay at the front. Johnny's such a team player, so it's great to see him up there. I know he'll work hard for the rest of the boys to make sure the team has the best day possible. So great to see Johnny, the namesake of our team, up there and having a good day.
Well, there wouldn't be a single person to disagree with Non Stanford. With everybody, look, I don't think Johnny Brownlee has ever won a supertri race. I think he's been out sprinted a few times. Am I wrong?
2018 Singapore.
Okay, yep, no, you're 100% correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
He has. I mean...
Well, it's been a while.
It's been a while, but, you know, Johnny Brownlee, what an athlete. He's had, I think, 8 podiums. I think he's had 14 top 5s. But, yeah, 1 victory 6 years ago. Oh, we would all love to see him do something really special. But I think what Non was just saying there, which is so true about him, he's such a team player, really is. And he still loves racing. By his own admission, he hasn't quite got the speed in the legs that he'd like to have, you know, compared to some of the youngsters. But look at him up here in the front of this final race here in NEOM.
Yeah, it is good to see. Great interview we did earlier this week where Vincent Luis and Johnny Brownlee interviewed each other, and some incredible insights in that one. And if you're any kind of a fan of triathlon, make sure you don't miss that when it comes out from supertri as Seguin continues at the front.
Well, the good thing about Johnny Brownlee is he has endurance for sure, and that's that tight corner there that we saw Vasco Velarza hit the deck just a few minutes ago as Yanis now starts to prepare for transition, undoes the Velcro and dismounts as he heads out on to the second to last run.
Confirmation that Kenji Nina is facing elimination to join Connor Bentley. There he goes, bottom of your screen on the left, as we head out now onto the second run. And let's see, yep, the helmet comes off from Hayden Wilde this time. Decided he didn't like that tactic. He's going to go with the normal one from now on. Still a group of 7. And gee, isn't there some class in there? World champions, Olympic champions abound through that group.
It's just immense, isn't it, when you look at it? Berger was the overall bronze medalist in Paris. He, the Olympic champion, Wilde, the silver medalist. Brownlee, how many medals has he got from the Olympics? Is it 3 in total?
2. Wilde's got 2. Connex is a world champion, Bergier a world champion. Yeah. Tim Hellwig, what have you got, mate?
Well, Tim Hellwig, he won a World Triathlon Championship Series race, didn't he? Hamburg a couple
Actually,
of years
he's got an Olympic
ago.
gold medal in the mixed team relay. Yes, of course he does. Of course he does.
Let's have a look at the back of our pictures in Stars and Stripes. Dropped off this group is Pierre Lecour. And is that Vasco Velasco? It is Vasco. Is that Vasco Velasco? I'm just trying to pick him out. I think it is.
Where's that? In the very back of screen?
In the very back of our screen.
I always see 1 minute and 6 seconds in arrears through our last timing loop, so that's a long way. Confirmation, though, that Yanis Seguin has a 5-second penalty, and I think he dismounted after the line. We'll head down now anyway to Adam with Michael Gilliam.
Michael, Vincent Luis, such a superstar of supertri and of short course racing. It's his last race, and wow, he's going out in some style here.
We'd love to give him a fairy tale. It's going to be a big ask. I've got him shutting down at the moment and trying to save it for the last run. Let's see what he can do. 35 years of age, it's been a great career to this point. He'll go on to long distance. He might just pop one today.
Well, he's off the back of that group at the moment, and we're seeing something what we see so often. In fact, right now, you've got the Olympic gold medalist being chased by the Olympic silver medalist, being chased by the Olympic bronze medalist. We've got our entire podium in order. Yee, Wilde, Bergier off the front, and then we've got Dorian Connex, the 2023 world champ, Hellwig, Brownlee, Seguin, and Lewis, with Seguin having a 5-second penalty, and he can serve it on this lap if he chooses to. But right now, the whole Paris podium is going down the red carpet here in Saudi Arabia.
And we've got a penalty. And we've got a penalty there. Didn't pick that one up. Did I miss that one there? But it was Yanis there.
Are you not listening to me?
No, sorry. Do you know what? I tell you what, can I be forgiven? Sorry. And I'm glad you picked me up on that. But I was just blown away watching Alex Yee. I think, you know, what a year he's had. You know, he's won an Olympic gold. He's won a World Championship gold. He won the first round of supertri. And he's had a difficult league, as Adam pointed out earlier. But he's won everything. But he's still fighting here for a race victory, and that's what I love about supertri. It brings the very best out of the athletes.
Well, you know what? I think there's a lot of people here who are looking forward to a potential run battle between Wilde and Yee.
Oh, yes.
And potentially, could this be the time that Wilde finally gets him in a straight head-to-head? I mean, he did win, for example, in Chicago by quite the distance. So in the same race, obviously, Wilde has won. But when they are 1 and 2, when they are fighting on the front, almost invariably, it's Alex Yee who gets the job done. Now, if you look also at the short shoots, neither Brownlee Racing, which is Yee, or Crown Racing, which is Wilde, have the opportunity to get one. There is one for Podium Racing, which is for Connex and Bergier, either one of them, depending on what Tim Don decides to do, but it is a straight and honest fight to the finish between Wilde, who now takes the lead, and Yee. And the other two, obviously, and Hellwig as well, and everyone who's in this race. But these two are the ones that have been duking it out for the last couple of years and across this entire season.
Yeah, look out for Dorian. Tim Don, team manager from Podium Racing as well, talked about Dorian Connex. For me, Dorian always looks like he's working really hard. But I tell you what, that guy has a massive engine, and when he wants to go, he really does. He's been on the podium once before, correct me if I'm wrong, Will, supertri last year in Toulouse, and making up for a difficult start to the season when he had a nasty crash in Yokohama. As we can see, the Olympic gold medalist and silver medalist from Paris leading this race, fighting every step of the way. Tim Hellwig as well, his head starting to wobble a little bit. Great to see Johnny Brownlee still up there as well.
So, bit of a chat between Non-Stanford and her charge, Alex Yee. Confirmation of the short shoots. We'll see it up on screen in a minute, but I believe it is Tim Hellwig who's going to pick up the Stars and Stripes short shoot, and fair enough because he's in the top 5, and Leo Bergier will be handed the short shoot, and fair enough because he is the one who's in title contention. Connex obviously another good option, sitting right behind him there in 4th position, and then there's a gap back to Brownlee, who has gapped Seguin and Lewis. Seguin having served the 5-second penalty now and back in there, and Lewis, who is having a more difficult run at the moment than he's usually used to. There's the confirmation. Clip on the short shoot, and Out the front is Wilde, and I guess what Hayden Wilde wants to do and why he accelerated there is to just make sure, as maybe not the strongest swimmer out there, he wants people to have to swim around him.
Yeah, he does. And you know what, Wilde, for, I don't want to say a weaker swimmer, but by his own admission, he would say, you know, he's not the quickest swimmer in the sport. His third swim in supertri is always pretty good. And normally we'd expect for the weaker swimmers for the swim to drop off, but actually Wilde gets better as the swim goes on. Alex G getting a nice little toe there on his feet. That's a sensible position to be in as well. Let him face the chop and get a little bit of a light breather. You do get a little bit of a benefit in swimming on the feet, save a little bit of energy. It's the two French athletes though behind, Berger and Koenig and Hellwig, who for my liking is going to make the podium. I would say overall we just see Vasco Velarza there has fallen 90 seconds down, so he is eliminated from this race. He was so frustrated because he was about to deliver us a very exciting race, and this bike course has proved a little bit difficult for some of the athletes out there, including Taylor Spidey, who came down in the women's race earlier on.
3 down as we head towards the second last transition. And we're going to hear, actually, from Vasco Velarza in just a second. Vetla Thorne also on the bubble as well for Crown Racing. We'll head down now to Adam Leach, and he's got a, no doubt, disappointed Vasco Velarza.
Oh, Vasco, so heartbreaking for you. Tell us what happened there.
Well, I mean, I was feeling very good. First time I think I'm leading a swim at a supertri, and I got a little gap in the bike in that second stage, and I was feeling very good, but obviously trying to keep the gap by being more tired and the fatigue settling in. I didn't take the corner as I should have, and trying to keep up the speed, I just went too fast and lost the grip on that corner.
It's as easy as that. Happens to everybody, even the very best of us. And yeah, fatigue's a big, not only fatigue from today, but fatigue from the week of being in the desert heat, fatigue from a season that has been so big for everybody as well.
And you know what, he's kind of owning it, right? He's not blaming the course, he's not blaming the fact there might have been a bit of sand on there. He's saying, you know what, I was tired, I went in too hard, my fault, as Wilde
he's going to lead all the way through the swim. Yeah, and that's good from him, and he's going to stay second throughout the swim, and the two Frenchmen, who are probably more renowned swimmers, are going to stay third and fourth, if indeed they do, as they have that nice smooth run up into this nice big wide ramp into the second last transition of the day.
You know what, I feel for Parker Spencer. Like, I really do. He's such a great coach. He's such a great team manager, and he had two of his athletes up there leading the final race here in NEOM, and it just wasn't meant to be their day, as Wilde now takes the last few strokes before he comes up that little blue ramp, followed by Alex G. And there's the two French athletes up there as well. Tim Hellwig has survived that, Vincent Luis and Brownlee just rounding up the back, and that's Yanis who served that penalty as well on the run. He's managed to stay with that little group of athletes.
Yeah, Lewis had a good swim then to keep himself in contention, and Wilde, well, he knows he's got probably the best runner in triathlon right behind him, so he's going to need to have one of the all-time bike legs, which he's very, very capable of, and he won't be worrying about having people to work with at this stage. He'll just be putting everything into it. Hellwig, Brownlee, similarly, the two veterans crossing the mountain line now, and Lewis and Brownlee, and then Seguin with his heroes, no doubt, trying to tack onto the back, and it's head down, and with those interesting canyon hoods, and as aero as possible down this long straight, Hayden Wilde disappears, and Leo Berger is the one that manages to tack onto the back of Alex Yee.
Well, one thing that you can't do here is take the title away from Wilde. He's came into the series finishing first in Boston, and then 11th in London and Toulouse. He didn't race due to the fact he was doing jury service. But I think Wilde doesn't want to just win the series here. He doesn't want to finish second to Alex Yee, does he, in this race here?
No, if anything, I think he's probably thinking more about not finishing second to Alex Yee than he is about winning the title.
Do you know what I was just thinking the same? It's like, not again, you are not having this one.
Not
this is
one.
mine.
Yeah, this is mine, exactly. He finished second in Boston to Alex Yee. He won in Chicago. He won in London, and Yee wasn't there, but he won in London for the third time for 3 attempts. And then he finished third in Toulouse, having run the last half a lap with one shoe, and that was to Velasa and Helwig. And now he is in the lead of this one. Actually, he was there in London, but he finished 11th overall. Sorry, we'll head down now to Adam Leach.
Tim, a fascinating battle coming here, not just in the individual, but the teams as well. How do you see this playing out?
Oh man, if I knew, I'd love to know. You know, Leo's in such great shape. We're pushing him for the overall. Yanis was here as a support act, and Dorian Connex is running so well. But, I mean, the race has been blown apart in that third swim. So, yeah, it's all about, we need to get in front of Vince to get more team points. Sounds easy. It's not. The guy is an animal over short course racing.
This is true, and it is Wilde and Yee and Berger. Then Connex on his own. Helwig versus Lewis. Brownlee versus Seguin. Top 8 and no one anywhere near them. 13 seconds across them, and those 3 at the front, well, they remain your Olympic podium and your top 3 here in Supertri.
And you know what, we are looking at 3 of the greatest, that we really are. I mean, not discounting Vincent Luis, but he'd admit it himself at 35 years of age and in his last short course race. But Wilde, Yee and Berger, an absolute demonstration of brilliant athletic genius. The 3 of them, they are absolutely amazing.
Very poetic, Andy.
It was, wasn't it? I'm getting carried away.
Brilliant athletic genius. I'm not, yes. Adjectives abound. I loved it.
But Alex Yee, wow, just love to watch him race. Unfortunately, Wilde is struggling to shake him off because I think Yee personally will get the better of him on the run, but Wilde going well for the overall title. Leo Berger might have to hand it over. I don't see him beating him on the run or taking the title, as Vettel Torn now for Crown Racing is out of the race, falling 90 seconds behind.
These 3 up the front, looks like our podium. The question is, not only in what steps on the podium for this race, but Wilde, if he can stay upright, will likely be our overall championship winner. But the 2nd and 3rd place on that podium, well, it's up for anyone. Yee, Berger, Helwig, Connex could all come 2nd in the overall.
Yeah, looking Vasco Lanza, unfortunately out of the running after that crash. Matt Hauser, after his crash in Torremolinos in the World Championship final, he's not here. He's out. Naina's out as well, falling behind 90 seconds. Very uncharacteristically, having had a 6th, 4th and 5th in Toulouse for Kenji Naina, but not having a great day here. This is interesting.
It is. It is, again, smarter names than us will do the maths. We'll head down now to Adam and Michael Gilliam.
Michael, this is tightening up a little bit for the team's league title here.
Yeah, it's getting closer. We're still sweating on it at the moment. I think we'll be all right, but you never know. Someone could still drop this bike. I want to get him off this bike.
Yeah, no doubt.
I know how he feels, Will, sorry, but I really do. I've got my heart in my mouth. They've just got to get round safely now. They are lap 3 of 4.
Berger probably the most likely to take 2nd in the overall standings, being 2nd at the moment on 39 points and sitting in the top 3. But you're right, let's get him off the bike. That's the corner we saw Taylor Spivey come down on. Vasco Velasa came down on the previous corner, and on the inside line, Wilde accelerates, but he can't get in front of Yee, who takes a wider line on that turn, and we're into the last lap of the bike. So now it's just about surviving and seeing who's got the run legs, and 9 times out of 10 it's Alex Yee who has it. But these guys, world champions, 2 of them, Olympic medalists, all three of them, all on their day can have the perfect race, and we saw Hayden Wilde do that in Torremolinos a couple of weeks ago, and Alex Yee ran through just about everyone. But when you look at the timing splits from that race, and that was over 10 kilometres, completely different, you couldn't, indistinguishable just about, Wilde and Yee. But Berger, well, he had his lead eaten up a little bit from Alex Yee. But this is 1.6 kilometres. This is a completely different set of skills, a completely different energy system, and especially at this stage of a race that has demanded so much. They've already run twice.
Wow. Do you remember the final last year? That was a battle between Wilde and Berger, wasn't it? It was a tough battle, and Wilde was a bit miffed that he wasn't giving the short shoot. But that is a year ago, a year ahead, and it's still Wilde and Berger. Alex Yee, the Olympic champion, sitting in third. And I love these guys. They are such pros. They are giving absolutely everything, Will. That's what amazing, because these three guys could slightly take it a bit easier, but they just love to put on this kind of performance for the fans, and they love to battle it right to the end. No one's sitting up. They're giving 100% to absolutely all of this course. Wilde a little bit shaky around that bend, looking over his shoulder. I'd love to know what's going through his mind right now, and I think you're absolutely right. It's how do I be the Olympic champion?
Yeah, Wilde's thinking about Yee, Yee's thinking about Wilde, and Berger's thinking, I've got the short shoot, and these guys don't. So I need to remember that as the shoes come off and we head into transition for the very last time in season 2024. And where would you rather be than having the three guys, as Yee has a little bit of an issue with his bike, the three guys who have contended across all short course triathlon in all competitions over the last couple of years, with 1.6 kilometres between them and a race win here at the back end of 2024. And it's Wilde who comes out first, Yee last, but we've seen him eat up massive leads before, and Wilde does what he did in Paris and goes out really hard on the first lap, trying to keep a gap this time. It evaporated in the last 300 metres back then. What happens this time? It's anyone's guess.
That is an incredible pace he has set, but has he gone too quick, too early? He's still got just under a mile to run as Alex Yee, the Olympic champion, hangs on to the shoulder of the bronze medalist from Paris, Léo Berger. This race is between these three. The title race, though, we know if it finishes in this position, as we can see now, Wilde first, Léo Berger second, Alex Yee third, that it will be Wilde who takes the title. Berger will be second, but third place is all to play for. You'd have to say it's Hellwig there as Léo Berger takes that short shoot and just cruises into the lead.
Well, it's actually handy for Hayden Wilde because he just gets to tack onto the back of Berger and hopefully put some time in, and it looks like a little gap's forming to Yee. Now, can he respond? We know how well he measures his runs. He's not going to get stressed. He's going to realise he can eat the gap. He just wants the others to run out of petrol first, but there is definitely a gap there. And Wilde, could this be the day that he finally beats Yee in a straight-up head-to-head run? Berger wants to get in the middle of this, preferably out the front. This is only the first of 2 laps, and we're already out of our chairs.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at the absolute very best in the world right now. Great to see Léo Berger hanging on to that lead. How long will he keep it for? Where is Yee? Can he pull anything back?
The top 3 in the World Championships finals, the top 3 in Paris, and now the top 3 in the Super Triathlon Grand Final. Let's hear from Non Stanford. Can Alex do it?
Non, we're literally watching Alex chase down Hayden here. Hayden versus Alex is the battle that everybody loves to see. Is Alex determined to get it over on him one more time this year?
I'm sure he is, you know. Like you say, it's been a battle for the last few years. Alex never gives up, he always comes back. He's only got 1,600 metres or 800 metres to come back right now, so it's going to be really exciting, but I trust him to fight all the way to the line.
Oh, well, just as Non Stanford was talking then, Hayden Wilde has found another gear again. He's gone in front, but that gap back to Yee has halved to Berger, and they're coming together again. And could this be heartbreak again for the Falcon, Hayden Wilde? Does he have any more? He looks over his right-hand shoulder and he sees Berger. He sees the shadows that come up. He's looked at the shadows on the supertri logos on the fairing there and seen, oh, that's the shadow of Alex Yee. He's back with us.
Oh, goodness me. Can Alex Yee draw on those track days? Let's have a look. He's come up onto the shoulder now of Hayden Wilde.
He's come up, he's gotten rid of Bergier for the moment, and suddenly it is as it was in Boston all those rounds ago, all those months ago, exactly like this. And can he measure that run again? It was a 2-second gap, it's gone back to none. We've got 300 metres to go now, and it is Wilde and Yee. It's what we all wanted to see.
This has to be the very best ever final 400 metres I think that we have ever seen in the 6 years of Super Tri racing. Alex Yee looks a little bit relaxed now as Leo Berger goes into the lead.
Oh, well, throw a blanket over the three of them. Berger wants this one.
Come on, you've got to call it, Will. Come on, call it for me.
I don't want to start too early. We've got a little bit to go yet. One more turn and we're going to be onto the back straight. We're going to be seeing the black carpet. It's Berger in the front at the moment. And now it's Yee who's going to kick down the inside. I don't think Berger's going to get him. Wilde's in third position, but it's a sprint from Alex Yee. He's timed it perfectly, I think. Here comes Wilde on the outside of Berger. And I don't think he's going to get him, just as it was in Boston, as it is in Saudi Arabia. Alex Yee gets him again. Hayden Wilde in second, but he is your overall champion. And it looks like Leo Berger, second overall in the championship. Doesn't get any better than that.
It simply doesn't, Will.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't get any better than that in triathlon racing. Dorian Connick's just coming across the line in fourth place now. Wow, wow. No, I've lost it now. I've lost it.
That was great. That was great. Hellwig in fifth. Connick's 21 second back, just shows you how fast these guys were running, and Alex Yee just does what he does again and again and again. He wins this one, finishes on a high note, finishes probably his best ever year on a high note, and Hayden Wilde is your Super Tri champion. Leo Berger from last year hands it over to the Kiwi. Vincent Luis finishes 42 seconds back in the last race in short course he will ever do. And at the other end of the scale, Yannis Seguin on his debut here finishes in the top 8. Johnny Brownlee fought all day, 35 back. But we are just witnessing, I think, a rivalry and another chapter and another and another and another in something that we'll be lucky to witness for the entire next Olympic cycle, all the way up to LA 2028. And that is Hayden Wilde and Alex Yee. All smiles from Wilde, and why not? He's the championship winner, and without the confirmation, I think that given the positions that they finished in then, with Crown second and Podium third, I don't think the points are going to come back. It could get closer, so we'll get confirmation of the team's points as soon as possible. I just need a minute. Just need a minute to recover from that again.
Listen, they might think it's hard. I think it's harder for us in here.
No, it's no way.
What a finish. Is that not one of the best finishes that we've ever had in Super Tri racing?
Oh, I mean, there's a few absolute classics. Vincent Luis in Mallorca taking the short shoot against Johnny Brownlee. Johnny Brownlee and Alex Yee the last year in Jersey. Katie Zafiris and Cassandra Beaugrand in 2019 in Singapore. Just a few that I want to pull out the top of my head. And that's another one to just add to the collection.
But to have the gold medalist, the bronze medalist and the silver medalist battling it out for the final here, the final race here in the 2024 Super Tri calendar, is something pretty special.
Yeah, and there was the three of them, and they were all in it until the last 50 metres, and Alex Yee just has this 12th gear, I want to say, 12th to 14th gear that gives him that little bit extra, and the belief as well that carries him across. Berger went first and kicked, then Wilde went, but neither of them could match that long stride of Alex Yee. And again, I guess the cream rose to the top. Cassandra Beaugrand in the women's race just measured it perfectly, and Georgia Taylor-Brown took the win for Crown, which means that Crown win both individual titles here in their, I guess, spiritual home of the Middle East. As they look back, Tim Don and the Podium Racing crew. And we're going to head down now onto the black carpet to Adam Leach as we soak up some reaction from down there.
Alex, another dramatic sprint finish ahead of Hayden. It's kind of the story of the year.
No, it's good. I mean, it's kind of what the people want, and I'm glad we're able to show people exciting racing. I'm glad I could be a part of it. These guys have been putting on a show for the last 3 races and I haven't been there, so I'm glad I could take part this time and be part of the race.
What a way to finish this, well, remarkable year for you.
No, definitely. I came in here with no expectations. I just wanted to have fun, put on a show for the people back at home, make people smile and enjoy our racing, and hopefully want to take part themselves. So yeah.
Just a quick summary on your Supertri League season this year.
Yeah, maybe the first and last race of sign what could have been, but I mean, if I'm being honest, I probably let a bit of the emotions of winning the Olympics and all that kind of stuff take its toll in the middle of the year, and I've kind of come over that little blip and just absolutely loving back racing and the simplicity of what the sport's all about.
Well, I imagine looking forward to a bit of a break now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, on the second transition, I smashed my ankle pretty bad, so hopefully that's not too bad. But yeah, I'll look forward to some R&R and yeah, a bit more of this.
Yeah, lovely. Well, heal up soon, Alex, and congratulations on what was just been an amazing year for you.
Thank you very much, and thanks everyone back at home for watching.
What a lovely, humble champion he is, Alex Yee, and he gets it by a second from Hayden Wilde. As we have seen before, Leo Berger in the end was the other contender in that one, 2 seconds back. Dorian Connick, Tim Hellwig, Johnny Brownlee, Vincent Luis and Yanis Seguin, but I mean, it was those 8 throughout, and eventually, you know, the cream or the talent of the moment really rose to the fore.
I don't think you can disagree with that, honestly. I think you're absolutely right. Like 3 of the greatest triathletes that we've ever seen. Of course, there have been many behind Vincent Luis in his last race, sitting in 7th place. They've been world champion, won the series twice. But these 3 at the top of the field, Yee, Wilde and Berger, wow, just an incredible performance and a great show.
All right, we look further back. Plenty of athletes eliminated. Stapley and Thorne for Crown Racing. Vasco Velasco with that crash while leading. Kenji Nina, who, you know, had a disappointing race by his high standards. Connor Bentley was first to go out. LaCour, Baxter and McQueen were the other 3 athletes that finished that race. McQueen ending up 1 minute and 48 back after leading that swim, which what seems like 2 hours ago with all of that action that happened.
It seems like a long time ago. This is exhausting, but, you know, did we entertain you? You always ask. They absolutely entertained us, didn't they?
Very true. Now, we'll take a look back at that action-packed race and see a couple of the key moments that shaped it right now. And obviously, out the front there was Wilde, who really held off the rest, as did Yee, and that's where they really made it in that 3rd swim. And then Berger was the one that managed to cross and drop Connick to make it that 3. Wilde went early and Yee went late and timed it perfectly. Once again, let's head down now to the race medal presentation.
The medals will be presented by Matt Dennington, McLaren Co-Chief Commercial Officer Partnerships. In 3rd place from France, representing Podium Racing, Leo Berger. In 2nd place from New Zealand, representing Crown Racing, Hayden Wilde. And in 1st place, a Super NEOM champion from Great Britain, representing Crown Racing, Alex Yee.
The exact same podium in the exact same order as it was in Paris.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for your Super
McLaren Co-Chief Commercial Officer of Partnerships, Matt Dennington, handing out the medals for that one. And thanks also to NEOM Commercial Director of Sport, Nathan Homer, handing out the medals for the women's podium earlier on. The top spot going there to Cassandra Beaugrand. And these 3 just having deja vu. And we'll see the overall podium later on, and Bergier and Wilde will both figure. But Yi, as by his own admission, said that he had a little blip or a little flat spot after winning in Paris and then coming back for Torremolinos just at the right time, and a confirmation then of the league standings. He had a 5-point lead going in, and then with extra points on offer, he extended that, Hayden Wilde, to 7 points, and then a further 6 points back then to Tim Helwig, who moves into 3rd overall. He was 4th coming in. Alex Yi picks up 20 to jump into 4th position. Dorian Connings and Vincent Luis, last time he'll feature on a supertri leaderboard, finishes in 6th position overall. A disappointing effort in the end then for Vasco Velasa, who drops from 4th to 7th. Kenji Nina drops also to 8th position as well. Vettel Thorn, well, he had his most disappointing race, and Sergio Baxter rounds out your top 10 in the league standings for 2024 as we head back down now to Adam Leach.
Tim, oh, another tough day out there today for you.
Yeah, this one was, I think, by far the toughest. I mean, the main goal was to stay in the race today. There was so much on the line, and yeah, the bike course was like very slippery, so yeah, I tried to take it really conservative on the bike. I wanted to save a little bit of energy for the run, but then I did a little bit of a mistake in the first transition on the last stage and had to ride the bike by myself because I wanted to catch Leo and Hayden. So yeah, I bridged the gap a little bit, but then didn't have the best legs on the run, and yeah, but it was just enough to save the podium today, and this is what I came for, so I'm like super excited about the race and really, really happy.
Well, Tim, just really briefly, your Super Tri League debut this year, and you're on the podium. It's one of the best rookie years you've ever seen. How have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it very much. So, I mean, this is the style of racing I grew up doing. This is the style of racing I enjoy the most. So, yeah, it's like super fast, and there's so much happening all the time, so I really enjoyed it, and yeah, hope to be back next year.
Well, congratulations, Tim. Well done. And in here, we've got Leo Berger. Leo, another epic battle for you today against some pretty familiar rivals.
Yeah, I think I knew these two guys for the sprint finish, and yeah, I've lost the sprint, but I tried my best to win this race, but they were a bit stronger today.
Well, many congratulations, Leo. You've had a great year this year, so well done.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a dream year, and I'm happy to share the podium once again with these guys.
Well done. And coming in, here's the champ, his 2nd Super Tri League title. Wow, it's been hard work this year, hasn't it?
Yeah, the points are so crucial this year, and actually coming into NEOM, you get actually quite nervous because last time I won the series, all I had to do was top 7, so you know, having to get a podium was a bit nerve-wracking over the day.
And your battle with Alex, obviously, it's been the talk of, well, at least this year, if not longer, and you got the title this year.
Yeah, no, it was super nice, but you know, we have to put Leo and the other boys in the conclusion. You know, like Leo was the closest on the series, and he was a big threat this whole series. You know, he's a real strong swim biker runner, and then also Tim with his debut. Now it's fantastic to see that as well, and yeah, once again the three of us are back on another series podium, so it's quite nice, and yeah, kudos to the boys and just the whole team overall. You know, fantastic for Crown Racing, but also for the team, and congratulations also to Vincent for his amazing career.
It's been a huge year for triathlon this year. When you look back, what are your reflections on it for you personally?
Yeah, you know, like for me, I wanted to go for I was calling it the quad crown. You know, Olympics. I was trying to go for obviously the Olympic champion and World Series champion, Super Tri champion, and the 70.3 world champion. I've got one of them, which is nice, and you know, 2nd in the other 2, so that's really, really nice. And hopefully, I can go 2 out of 4. That would be a pretty awesome year for me.
Well done, Hayden. Congratulations. Enjoy a bit of downtime.
Do you like them apples, Will?
Yeah, we finally got it back.
You can never trust Michael Gilliam to not get in shot, as we see shots there of a man who has given so much to our sport, Vincent Luis, and will continue to do so in long course racing as we head back down now. Apparently we've got Michael Gilliam back.
Michael, this is what you came for. The team title is back in the hands of Crown Racing again.
Yeah, it is, and it's what His Highness wanted. And fortunately, we've been able to pull the team together, and they've delivered a great job. What a great effort by everybody involved, actually. All the teams are fantastic, and the sport itself has grown. So, yeah, we're lucky to be on top of the heap again.
Well, what's been the secret this year?
I think the attitude towards the team environment has changed a little bit more. As we know, we're transitioning this to a team-style event, and that transition is now taking place.
And just finally, can you do it again next year?
Of course.
Well, many congratulations, Michael. Go and enjoy your celebrations.
When you talk about the very best of the best, you really put Georgia Taylor-Brown's name out there. She's won multiple Olympic medals. She's a former world champion. She's won this series.
This is his domain, it really is.
Hayden Wilde will pick up another one. He does it in 2024.
Please welcome the top 3 overall women and men.
Time now for the championship overall podium. We've just spoken to our men. Our women are here as well, and these are the athletes that have just shone across the course of season 2024, and 3 of the 4 teams represented with Crown on the top step.
And in 3rd place in the match from Germany, representing Stars and Stripes Racing, Tim Hayden.
Great debut season from Helwig, and Bogran finishes with a win and elevates herself to 3rd place and picks up $35,000 each. They don't have to share that big check. They don't have to cut it in half.
In 2nd place in the women's from Luxembourg, representing Podium Racing, Jean Leher. And in 2nd place in the men's from France, representing Podium Racing, Léo Berger.
Podium Racing pairing Leher and Berger from Luxembourg and from France respectively. Each pick up $50,000, and it looks like Jean Leher has just found out how much she's getting, which is just as endearing as it gets. She's been a real bright light.
Crown Racing, Georgia Taylor-Brown. And 1st place, senior match 2024 Super Tri League, the winner from New Zealand, representing Crown Racing, Hayden Wilde.
A Bahrain victorious 13, Crown Racing double, $80,000 each, and didn't they both earn it? Hayden Wilde and Georgia Taylor-Brown. There are your championship winners, and all they are so worthy. And down now to Adam Leach, who has a very special athlete.
Vince, the last race of your short course triathlon career, and what a career it's been.
Yeah, it's been great to be part of the Super Tri, or back then we call it Super League. I think I'm definitely the oldest on the start line, and yeah, I'm happy to leave on a kind of a high note with the win overall with the team. And yeah, I've raced all across the world with Super League, and that's been an amazing experience. I'm really grateful they gave me my chance 6 years ago when I was just basically a nobody, and yeah, I've enjoyed every single race, and thanks again to Michael Dawes and his team to give me that opportunity to race.
And how important in your career and your development were those 2 league titles that you won?
Well, that was you know, kind of a pivotal moment in the career. I think when I won that first race in Jersey, I was like, well, that's what I'm made for. That's what I want to do. I want a short and fast and short and furious racing, and yeah, Super Tri was just easy for me. Like, the team takes really good care of us, and we just enjoy being in between athletes. There is no pressure from federations or whatnot. It's just us racing and being all together, and I think it was great, and definitely gave me a lot of confidence going into that world stage.
Well, congratulations, Vince. It's been an incredible short course career, and of course everybody wishes you all the best for the next stage.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Super League.
Yeah, it's been a special time and a special athlete who's been so pivotal in the history, and he is right. Crown Racing is on top, extending with a record 97 points here in NEOM, if you can believe that. They finished strong, and Podium Racing coming in 2nd from Stars and Stripes. $375,000. It is Bahrain Victorious 13 Crown Racing. An incredible result as the champagne sprays here in the desert. What a finish to season 2024. And the celebrations will continue well into the night here in NEOM. And Michael Gilliam gets to lap up all of the praise, but Chris McCormack, the team manager, will be watching on as well. Couldn't be here this weekend, but he has been incredibly key to bring this team together, along with so many athletes that are part of the Bahrain Victorious 13 team. And thanks to His Royal Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, who has brought many of these athletes together, and they have done what they came here to do. After Tim Don took 2 titles in 2021 and 2023, they take it back. Crown Racing, the new evolution of this team in red. And don't they deserve this win? But all the athletes up there have worked so hard, and it's such a special feeling for the athletes to work together and amongst it all. And finishing off his illustrious career in short course racing is Vincent Luis, who paid tribute to this team element, which has been, I guess, controversial. Some people don't like the team element, some people love it. It is here to stay, and I think the athletes pretty much all buy into it. Such a great experience for them as well, as Tim Don escapes with a big check. And a confirmation then again of the league standings for after 5 rounds, which we'll see in just a second as we see that beautiful shot there over the Red Sea. Crown Racing, 97 points, the highest any team managed, and they did it obviously with extra points on offer for the individual, but nearly cracked 100 for an even 420. And Podium Racing finishing then 29 points in arrears. They were 28 after the women's race, sorry. Stars and Stripes 338, and last of all is Brownlee Racing, as we head down now to 2 of the veterans of our sport, Michael Gilliam and Vincent Luis again, and Georgia Taylor-Brown, and Hayden Wilde, apparently.
Michael, you're here with a lot of your team. You're having some big celebrations here. What does this mean?
Oh, mate, it means a lot to me, you know, and these guys have just been fantastic, the whole team. Look, you know, we've set out with the task, and they delivered, you know. And this young guy next to me, he's still got a few years left in him. It'll be great to see him out there on the long course, but I'd like to thank him for everything. This Tyrone, the Falcon, is back. He's called the New Zealand Falcon from this day forward. And of course, this young lady, GTB. You couldn't have a faster name than that. I can't help all of them. Fantastic. And of course, our Olympic gold medalist, Cassandra. There's too much love in this group.
Well, talk to us a little bit about this management. You've had Chris McCormack and Michael Gilliam this year.
What you said?
The other guy who was in charge.
No, of course, Macca. We couldn't do it without the Mac. And Mac, we love you, brother.
Kate, maybe give us a little bit of an insight into what it's like being in this team.
Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere's been great, and yeah, MG made us work for every point and had us a bit scared at times, but yeah, we worked hard, we worked well together as a team, so we're really happy.
And Max, he's made you sweat a bit this year, right?
What's that?
Made you sweat a bit this year.
Yeah, I mean, I've won the penalty leaderboard, so $5,000, I'm fucking super stoked, mate.
Vettel, a debut season for you. A bit ahead there. And how's it been this year for you?
Yeah, I guess I couldn't ask for a better team. It's been really tough, but yeah, I've enjoyed it a lot.
Well, apologies for a bit of Max's fruity language there, we should say. Cassandra, you've been one of the leaders of this team. How's that been for you?
Well, yeah, I've been putting the team down in Toulouse, so I had to do my work today, so I'm happy with that.
Barbara, one of the young up-and-coming athletes with all these superstars around you. How's it been for you?
Yeah, it's been amazing. This is the best team to be part of, and I've learned so much from all of them. And yeah, they're my childhood idols, so it's been amazing to be part of the two.
And as the good man says, we hunt like wolves, and we'll take our bite when we need to.
Idiot tiger.
Thank you very much. Congratulations to you all. You are worthy champions this year. You did it in some style. Well done to you all.
I'd like to thank His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa for all his support as well. We couldn't have done it without Bahrain, and they're there with us every day.
Well, there you go. No shortage of team spirit in the Crown Racing team, and why not And we've got so much more to come still with the swim, bike and run champions about to take the podium as the wind continues to whip along the Red Sea here at the NEOM Beach Games, the first of 5 events here in NEOM, as we head back down now to the podium.
The checks will be presented by Matt Swenson, Iowa Senior Manager Esports Events and Games Operations, and Michael Hill, CEO and co-founder supertri. Our Women's Swim League champion from Brazil, representing Podium Racing, Victoria Lopez. And our Men's Swim League champion from the United States, representing Stars and Stripes, Chase McQueen. Women's Bike League champion from the United States, representing Stars and Stripes Racing, Taylor Spivey. And our Men's Bike League champion from Germany, representing Stars and Stripes, Tim Hayden. And our Women's Run League champion from France, representing Podium Racing, Leonie Perriot. And our Men's Run League champion from Great Britain, representing Brownie Racing, Hugo Melna. Put your hands together one more time, for your supertri swim, bike, and run league winners.
Tim, what a race, what a series. I think we're all a little bit exhausted, but you must be ecstatic with the performance of your athletes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can see every race they're putting their bodies on the line. Tactically, they're getting better. I mean, we had to pull Janis in with Matty Hauser having a big crash in his last race. He did fantastic. You know, we're trying to grab points everywhere, but it's the development of the athletes, and they're really using this to hone their skills in. I mean, we have the best of the best. This is like the World Cup. This is the next level of sport, and these guys want it. And you know, I'm just so proud of everyone at Podium Racing.
Yeah, wonderful to see the athletes coming through at the end. Jan Leher, absolutely magnificent. Léa Berger, and I was just looking at you watching the podium there. You had the fastest female runner and swimmer.
Absolutely, you know, it's a team effort. You know, everyone sees the people at the front, but there's a big back room. You know, these athletes, you know, they're fighting for every place, whether it's for 13th or for first, and that's what team's about. And you know, we're going to enjoy ourselves today, maybe the next week or two, but then it's all about building for the next season, because I really believe in this team, and Podium Racing's only going to get bigger, it's only going to get stronger, and we're just going to grow from here.
Did you think coming into this race today that you had a chance of catching Crown?
Absolutely, you have to believe. You know, mathematically it's possible. We had the athletes to do it. Crown Racing, you know, on paper they have the strongest team ever assembled in the world of triathlon, and we were leading. We've had 2 flat tyres, scoring no points in other races, but that's racing. We saw Vasco go down hard. He was on for a red hot race here. But yeah, I definitely know my team last night. We really talked about belief. racing aggressively and coming together. But fair play to Crown Racing. You know, they put more points into us, so we'll come back next year even stronger.
Oh, congratulations, Tim. It has been a magnificent season for Podium Racing.
Parker, sum up this year for Stars and Stripes Racing for us.
Oh man, it was a great year. We started out in Boston and we had some rough racing in Boston, and we just kept getting better and better as the season went on. So really proud of this group of athletes that we've had and just how hard they went into the season, especially like these two getting done with the Olympics and then just a few weeks later coming back and racing hard again is really impressive.
Taylor, tell us a little bit about the team spirit in this team and the management of Parker as well.
This team is great. I love the team dynamic. I love being a part of the Stars and Stripes. Parker's a great team manager, and yeah, it's just a fun atmosphere. Like, we don't really get a chance to race as a team very often, and I feel like we've really come together in this Super Tri series this year.
And Tim, a debut season for you. Has it made it easier for you coming into an environment like this with the team?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Parker kept it like really relaxed for the whole team, but still gave like very important instructions. So I think, yeah, we found a good balance in the team to like, yeah, be very competitive, but as well keep it fun. And I think this made the difference for us, and that's why we made the podium this year.
Parker, there's been an interesting evolution of this team under your leadership. What's next?
I mean, you can expect us to be back here again next year. So yeah, looking forward to building off of what we had in 2024 into 2025. And seeing if we can not just be on the podium in third, but if we can get that top step.
Well done to you all. It's been a great season for Stars and Stripes.
Thanks. Thank you.
Non, it's fair to say that Brownlee Racing absolutely saved the best to last.
Yeah, we had such a good day today. I had a look on the results there. We finished second. Everybody really put their best foot forward. Everyone delivered. I think they were determined to go out on a high and go home knowing that they'd had a really good race, despite the fact that maybe we didn't do super well in the overall series.
You've been a brilliant team manager, but it hasn't been easy for you, has it?
No, we've had our fair share of misfortune. A lot of the early signs of the team got injured, so they didn't do any of the series. Obviously, we had Johnny with concussion in Toulouse and only came in really late. And yeah, we've had our ups and downs, but so have all the other teams. And they've always rallied, they've always supported each other, and that's the, you know, at the end of the day, I'm really proud of how they've done, and it's been a pleasure to be the team manager.
The Olympic champion won here today for Brownlee Racing, though. That was special.
Yeah, it's always special. Alex always delivers a special performance, and when Alex is on form, Alex is unbeatable, and I think he's shown that time and time again. It was a super exciting finish, though, to have, you know, the best three athletes in the world right now come down to that sprint finish, and I was a bit nervous, but Liv knew he had it in the bag, so it put my mind at rest.
Brownlee Racing has so much talent, though, so the future is bright. You just got to put it all together.
Yeah, 100%. And what we have to remember is we're a predominantly British team, and that was our plan from the outset, to support the future of British triathlon, to make sure that we're developing the next generation of Alex Yees and Beth Potters, and we're going to stick to that as much as we can.
And your kind of team leader, Jonathan Brownlee, you know, in the twilight years of career, he did perform brilliantly today.
He did brilliantly, so good. To see him right up there, fighting his way back into it, and then also fighting with the best in the world was incredible. And he's such a team player, gives out all the advice, and yeah, was so happy for him today.
Well done, Non. Congratulations.
Well, that brings us to the end, I suppose, Adam, of what has been an incredible season, an incredible finish to the men's race, and it's just been, I mean, excellent. I want to know how it's felt down here. When I came over just before, you said hectic, and I mean, I guess that's what the end of a Super Tri season is.
I mean, that's what this is meant to be. It's meant to be hectic. It's the fastest, most tactical, technical racing in the world.
Yep.
And it's moving triathlon forward at a rate of knots. We want the close finishes. We want the athletes running with their helmets on. We want the chaos and the carnage. That's what this is all about. But ultimately, it's these amazing elite athletes. They're racing in teams. They're racing for themselves. It's just an incredible experience, and the chaos is all part of it.
Yeah, we've really pushed the athletes to their absolute best, and that's why we see athletes like Alex Yee and Cassandra Bogrun and Hayden Wilde rise to the top. And we saw, I mean, we talked about it in commentary, Annie, that finish with the top three in Paris, the top three in the world titles final, and then the top three here. It doesn't get any better than that.
it doesn't get any better, and that's what supertri does. And you saw Alex there. He said, I'm loving the racing, and I think the athletes really do enjoy this racing, as hard as it is, the mistakes that are made. They're really passionate about it.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And we also bring in new blood. So as we wave goodbye to, maybe we wave goodbye to Johnny Brownlee, we don't know, but we know that Vincent Luis is wrapping it up. But we bring in athletes like a Tim Hellwig or a Nina Ime or a Yana Seguin, who was a factor in that race. And it's a pathway that so many athletes that go on to have incredible careers start here and really build here, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of what supertri does. It's not just the established stars of the sport, but Hayden Wilde, nobody had heard of him before supertri.
Yep.
Even Vince said, I was virtually unknown before I came into this supertri series, and it propelled him. So it's a creation for new stars competing with the very world's best in chances they wouldn't get elsewhere.
All right, we're going to wrap it up right now. Al, on behalf of you, Annie Emerson, congratulations, and thank you so much for being part of it.
Thank
you
you
too, Adam Leach, and the whole team here at supertri. We hope you've enjoyed 2024. You wait for 2025.